heliocentric theory, the belief that the Earth revolves around the Sun as it rotates on its axis. This aspect of astronomy evolved into an intricate study of planetary motion known as orbital mechanics. Today, orbital mechanics is applied to space flight and satellites that orbit the Earth or travel beyond our solar system. In the early 1600s, Johann Kepler, a German mathematician, using the data on planetary observations collected by the Danish scientist Tycho Brahe, developed 3 laws of planetary motion. Kepler's first law states,
all planets move in elliptical orbits with the Sun at one focus and the other focus empty.
Applied to Earth satellites, the center of the Earth becomes one focus, with the other focus empty. For circular orbits, the 2 foci coincide. Kepler's second law, the law of areas, states,
the line joining the planet to the Sun sweeps over equal areas in equal time intervals.
When a satellite orbits, the line joining it to the Earth sweeps over equal areas in equal periods of time. If areas 1, 2, and 3 are equal, times 1, 2, and 3 are also equal. Therefore, the speed of the satellite changes depending on its distance from the center of the Earth. Speed is greatest at the point in the orbit closest to the Earth, called perigee, and is slowest at the point farthest from the Earth, called apogee. It is important to note that the orbit followed by a satellite is not dependent on its mass. A large, heavy satellite could be in the same orbit with a small, light one, each sweeping out equal areas in equal periods of time. Kepler's third law, the law of periods, relates the time required for a planet to make one complete trip around the Sun to its mean distance from the Sun.
For any planet, the square of its period of revolution is directly proportional to the cube of its mean distance from the Sun.
Applied to Earth satellites, Kepler's third law explains that the farther a satellite is from the Earth, the longer it will take to complete an orbit, the greater the distance it will travel to complete an orbit, and the slower its average speed will be. Isaac Newton, the father of classical mechanics, laid the groundwork for orbital mechanics. He combined the work of Kepler and others to formulate the law of universal gravitation and the 3 Newtonian laws of motion. While Kepler's laws provided a conceptual model of orbital motion, Newton's laws provided the foundation for the mathematical description of orbits. They explain why a satellite stays in orbit. Newton's law of universal gravitation.
Any 2 objects in the universe, such as the Earth and the Moon, attract each other with a force directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them.
Stated more simply, the more massive the objects are, or the closer they are, the greater the gravitational pull between them. Newton's first law of motion.
A body in motion will keep moving at the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an external force.
A satellite moves in a curved path around the Earth because the Earth's gravitational pull acts as an external force on it. Newton's second law of motion.
If the sum of the forces acting on an object is not zero, the object will have an acceleration proportional to the magnitude and in the direction of the net force.
Newton's second law states that force equals mass times acceleration. It is this mathematical equation and the equation for universal gravitation that forms the basis for calculating orbits. Newton's third law of motion explains how a satellite gets into orbit.
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
If you blow up a balloon and let it go, the balloon is pushed forward by the action of the air rushing out of it. A rocket's exhaust gases are like the air rushing out of the balloon. The following illustrates how a satellite stays in orbit. If a man stands on a mountain and fires a projectile horizontally, gravity will cause the path of the projectile to curve downward and it will strike the Earth. However, if the man fires the projectile fast enough at a specific speed, the curvature of its path due to gravity will match the curvature of the Earth under it. The projectile will then fall around the Earth, becoming an Earth-orbiting satellite. A projectile fired even faster will have a flight path away from the Earth, but gravity will act to slow the projectile down, change its flight path, and pull it back toward Earth. If the projectile's velocity increased enough, a velocity sufficient to escape the Earth's gravitational pull will be reached. This velocity is known as the escape velocity. It is equal to about 7 miles per second at the Earth's surface. The preceding description did not consider atmospheric drag and the Earth's rotation, both of which will affect the trajectory of the projectile. It illustrated the principles governing a satellite's orbit. There are 6 numbers called the orbital elements, which specify the size, shape, and orientation of an orbit in space, as well as the location of the spacecraft in the orbit. Based on an orbit which is an ellipse, the 6 orbital elements are length of the semi-major axis, eccentricity, inclination, right ascension of the ascending node, argument of perigee, time of perigee passage. The major axis of an elliptical orbit is the line joining the perigee and apogee. This line is also referred to as the line of apsides. The first orbital element is the semi-major axis. It is simply 1/2 the major axis. Circular orbits have no apogee or perigee. Therefore, the semi-major axis is simply 1/2 the diameter of the orbit. The semi-major axis is used to define the size of the orbit. From this, the orbital period, or time that it takes for the satellite to complete one orbit, can be calculated. The shape of an orbit is defined by the second orbital element called eccentricity. For all ellipses, the value of eccentricity lies between 0 and 1. The larger the value, the more elliptical the orbit. A spacecraft in Earth orbit with an eccentricity equal to or greater than 1 will escape the Earth's gravitational field. When orienting an orbit in space, a 3-dimensional coordinate system must be defined. The coordinate system commonly used is the geocentric equatorial coordinate system, which has its origin at the Earth's center. This coordinate system is a non-rotating reference system in which a satellite's orbital plane tends to remain fixed relative to the stars while the Earth turns beneath it. The XY plane is the Earth's equatorial plane. The positive x-axis points to the vernal equinox. This is the point where the Sun appears to cross the Earth's equator on its way north on the first day of spring each year. The z-axis is along the Earth's spin axis toward the North Pole. Nodes are points in a satellite's orbit which intersect the Earth's equatorial plane. The ascending node is the point at which the spacecraft crosses the equator going from south to north. The descending node is where the spacecraft crosses the equator going from north to south. The line joining the two nodes is called the line of nodes. The orientation of an orbit is determined by three orbital element angles. The right ascension of the ascending node is the angle between the x-axis and the ascending node. It is always measured eastward from the direction away from the vernal equinox in the Earth's equatorial plane. The argument of perigee is the angle between the ascending node and the point of perigee. It is measured in the orbital plane in the direction of spacecraft motion. Inclination is the angle between the equatorial plane and the orbital plane. A satellite which has an eastward velocity component at the ascending node has an orbital inclination lying between 0 and 90 degrees. Such an orbit is called a prograde orbit. A satellite which moves due north at the ascending node is in a polar orbit. Polar orbits have an orbital inclination of exactly 90 degrees. A satellite with a westward velocity component at the ascending node is in a retrograde orbit and has an orbital inclination between 90 and 180 degrees. The 5 orbital elements explained thus far describe the size, shape, and orientation of the orbit in space. The final element is a time value used to locate the satellite in its orbit. A satellite moves in a very predictable manner. It stays on schedule. Thus, if the time at which a satellite passes a particular point is known, the time when it will pass any other point can be determined. The particular point chosen is perigee, and the time of perigee passage is the last of the 6 orbital elements. The 6 orbital elements depict a spacecraft's orbit in non-rotating coordinates. To visualize an orbit relative to the rotating Earth, a projection traces the spacecraft's position on the Earth's surface. The projected path is called the ground track. As a satellite orbits the Earth, the ground track shifts westward. There are 2 causes for this. First, the primary contributor is the Earth's rotation toward the east under the orbital plane. Second, because the Earth is not a uniform sphere and bulges at the equator, its gravity is greatest at the equator. This causes the orbital plane to rotate slowly around the Earth's polar axis in a motion called precession. Precession is toward the west for prograde orbits and toward the east for retrograde orbits. For low Earth orbits such as those of the Space Shuttle at 150 miles altitude, the westward shift of the ground track due to the Earth's rotation is about 22.5 degrees, while the shift due to precession is only about a ½ degree. The inclination of a satellite orbit determines the north and south latitude limits of its ground track. The minimum orbital inclination is equal to the latitude of the launch site and is achieved by launching due east. For example, if a satellite is launched due east out of the Kennedy Space Center, which is located at 28.5 degrees north latitude, its orbital inclination will be 28.5 degrees, and the limits of its ground track will vary between 28.5 degrees north latitude and 28.5 degrees south latitude. If launch azimuth or direction of flight at launch measured eastward from due north is increased from due east, the orbital inclination angle increases as well as the maximum latitude of the north-south ground track. Therefore, the latitude limits of the ground track equal the new launch inclination. Similarly, if launch azimuth is decreased from due east, orbital inclination once again increases as well as the latitude limits of the ground track. The maximum practical inclination from a Kennedy Space Center launch is 57 degrees. This limit is imposed for safety considerations in order to keep the spacecraft and its booster system from flying over land masses during the ascent phase. To obtain an orbit with an inclination greater than 57 degrees, the spacecraft is launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. Vandenberg offers the opportunity for southerly launches with orbit inclinations between approximately 70 degrees prograde through 138 degrees retrograde. A significant advantage of launching from Vandenberg is the capability to economically achieve polar orbits with ground tracks covering all latitudes, from the North Pole to the South Pole. The Earth is constantly turning, and all points on its surface have an eastward velocity, with the greatest velocity occurring at the equator. The farther the launch site is from the equator, or as launch azimuth is increased or decreased from due east, less of the Earth's rotational velocity will be imparted to the launch vehicle. This requires more fuel to get into orbit, or payload weight will have to be decreased. Launches due east from a position on or near the equator, such as the Kourou launch site in French Guiana, used by the European Space Agency, acquire the advantage of a free velocity gain of about 1,500 feet per second. This compares to the approximate 1,300 feet per second gain available at the further north latitude of the Kennedy Space Center. Launching from an equatorial site offers a significant advantage in payload weight capability and minimizes the amount of fuel needed to achieve an equatorial orbit. Since many satellites operate in equatorial orbits, these are important considerations. Spacecraft are launched within a specified time interval called the launch window. Some of the factors affecting the launch window are launch and orbit lighting conditions,
Who muted the mic? Who the hell are you? I'm your wife, fool. Wait, what? Anyway, I was about to say, I love that video. It's really good for refreshing orbital mechanics every once in a while. I mean, that cerebral, A for creative answer. Let me let me get the Space News link figured it out. Okay. All right. Phil, you got some stuff there. So, first space news back from New Mexico. In case you didn't see it when I posted it earlier, new cat flyover vid.
This video is
Okay. Alright, I think I got all the links here. Sorry, popcorn. Give me 1 second, dudes. I'm just making faces at you. How do you know I'm not? How do I know you're not making faces at me under that? Anyway, so let's get going here. You guys want to start off with an NSF vid? Let's do it. Let's start off with flying around on the Cape, shall we? Cue the NASA space flight.
This video is sponsored by Brilliant.
Is it though?
Chopstick spotted at Roberts Road. The Starship launch tower going up at LC-39A. SLS gets the green light to return to the VAB. Blue Origin's 2-cap building keeps growing. And Relativity gets ready for testing of their Terran 1 rocket.
Go that throttle up, Dragon.
It's sure been a busy time at the Cape.
Hold on. That's a little bit of a long sub message. Let me take the time to read it. That's a 32 months from you. That's almost 3 years, dude. Dragon, so what's up? I first found your stream during my first semester at university in 2018, and now I've graduated with a master's in chemistry. I want to thank you so much for the amazing content and your endless passion. Watching you has definitely changed my life and helped invigorate my passions in science and helped keep me going throughout my degree. Thank you for everything you do, and here's to many more years. Damn, dude! Now you are the master. Okay. Giesen! We need a chemistry pun. Stat! That's very compounding. Chat, Dragon, you could say that chat wasn't very damn it, Cerebral, you stole my joke! Now get up from behind there, you're ruining the pit! You're ruining my joke! I'll have an answer for you tomorrow, Alleviate. Anyway, Dragon, that's really cool, man. You gonna make rocket propellants now, or what, dude? Hey, an early on 7-month resub. I wish. Nah, man. Not you wish. Do it. Do it. Yes, you can. Do you want to see the brilliant response to the 3rd level moving, or did you already see? I haven't seen it, but, I mean... Eat beans, rocket propellant? There's not enough total impulse there, Far. That's not... No. You need something more than just beans. It needs to be bean burritos. You know what I'm saying? That would be a hot gas thruster, yeah. Not powerful enough for main propulsion, necessarily. Yeah, Grab Shark, it's all cyclical. What did I just walk into? Nothing. I'll see you tomorrow in class, Miss Vaughn. You blew it! Anyway, Dragon, thanks for those kind words, man. Dude, I'm glad I can help you see it through. You know, you're already there. You might as well finish, right? And I'm glad that you did, dude. You'll be able to find some work, dude. Chemistry's everywhere. Right now, in this very room. You think that's air you're breathing now?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Just launch the rocket. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. Beware the Demogorgon. The Demogorgon? No, Mind Flayer. So thanks, I'm addicted to Satisfactory now. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. This is my level of concern. Anyway, Dragon, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you can see it through, man. But now's not the time to take your foot off the gas pedal. Gotta find a job, man. And that is a thing that's a whole thing in itself. You gotta keep looking. I'm sure you'll find something. I just returned to the streamer making fart noises. EJ's back all right. Yeah, fart noises. Can we, like, go back to the video or something? Yeah, video, so we can see fire! Hey, guess what movie I watched yesterday? Dude, did you guys see the new one? The new one is awesome. It's so goddamn funny. Oh, it made me laugh, man. It took me back, man. The new one took me back. There's a new Beavis and Butthead. It's called Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, there's a new Beavis and Butthead. I hate that I love that movie. I didn't hate it at all. I thought it was awesome. Did they finally score? You're gonna have to find out. They made another one. Yeah. No, I loved it, but I feel like I shouldn't. Yes, humorous. Very humorous. Very humorous. Yeah. Funny. Yes, very humorous. Very humorous. Very humorous. Palpable chuckle. Yep. Very humorous. Palpable chuckle. Grab the beginning when they're at the science fair, man. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time with the power kick. I'm seeing how many times I can kick Beavis in the nuts before he passes out. And what's scientific about that? Science. The power kick, he kicks it so hard, he screams and it breaks everything. Oh my god, that's funny. Dude, it's... I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. It's the beginning of Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. You gotta see it, dude. You guys gotta watch it. It's funny as hell. The power kick, he's winding it up. Oh, what's it doing? What's it doing? Kicks. Oh my god. You got... it's dumb, alright? It's dumb. It's Beavis and Butthead. I don't care. It's still damn funny. Anyway, back to the NSF video. Dragon, congratulations, man. I'm happy I could help you see it through. Now get out there and take some alcohol and chlorine and mix them together. Don't do that. Am I right? Don't do that. Yeah, Marmot, I'm with you. Mike Judge is my hero, man. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, boy. That boy makes some damn good content. I tell you what. What if people don't like Beavis and Butthead? Well, we ask them politely but firmly to leave. Telly, here you go. EJ was covering Rockets Day, was cooking up fresh cursed rockets and blessed missions for your viewing. I am only putting this in front of the NSF video so people can shame you, okay? That chlorine leak was terrifying. Dude, did you see that? They dropped the chlorine on the boat, yellow gas. Dude, oh, run! Oh, I saw it on the Twitterers, and I'm like, okay, I hope, yep, nope, nope. So there was a port, where was it? In Jordan. And they're pulling off a chlorine tank, right? And then the crane winch snaps and it lands on the deck of the ship and... Yeah. Yeah. Not good. Not showing it on stream. People died. Yeah, if you inhale that, that's game over. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you inhale that, that's it. Ask Dragon, he'll tell you. What do you got? Oh. I hate this. I hate this, and Zay, I borderline hate you at the same time. Ugh. 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 Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah. Falcon 9-second stage looks good with the USA down the side, I will say. Nice. 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 How was New Mexico besides hot as frick? It actually wasn't too bad. It was cloudy most of the time, Panta. With that being said, still got dehydrated. Still got very tan. Ah. Okay. 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 Alright. Alright. Okay. RTX on. Okay, yeah, I hate it still. Yep, nope, still hate it. Mildly better. Humorous, very humorous. Palpable chuckle, very humorous. Very humorous. Palpable chuckle, humorous, yes. Very humorous, yes. Humorous, haha. Was ist das? Chat, was ist? Was ist? Nein. Nein. Ah, wunderbar. Ja. Ist gut? Ja? Ja und nein. Ja, so gut? Ja, okay. It looks like a walrus. It looks like a walrus with a parachute attached to it. God dang it, Bobby. Banghole! Bangholio. Okay. Alright. Alright. Jupiter. Cool. Cool. Alright. Pretty cursed. Pretty cursed, bro. Not gonna lie to you. Anyway, back to it.
In Kennedy Space Center over the past few weeks. And we're here to break it all down for you.
Break it down.
Hi, I'm Hagen Warren with NASA Spaceflight.
Hagen.
And let's dive right in.
Break it down,
At
buddy.
Roberts Road, many changes can be seen since the last flyover. One drastic and obvious one is the absence of the first two tower segments constructed at the tower build area. These two tower sections were rolled out in the past few weeks to LC-39A for tower buildup and stacking. Check out NASA Spaceflight streams of those and keep an eye out as we bring you coverage of future rollouts as well. The footstands used to transport the first two tower segments are now back at Roberts Road. These stands being back at the complex is no surprise, but what is interesting to note though is the fact that they were installed back onto their concrete stands. They would be back only if they needed to build more tower segments on those locations. However, we don't expect more than 9 tower segments to be built for the Starship launch tower at LC-39A.
Oh, for this pad, yeah.
And Roberts Road has all the concrete stands needed for those 9 segments. The last 2 concrete stands were completed last month and are located to the southwest from here, so either these will get abandoned or SpaceX has plans for more launch towers to be built in the near future. Perhaps for their upcoming launch pads at Launch Complex 49, north of Launch Complex 39B, But the most exciting change at Roberts Road is the appearance of the chopstick stack and catching system, as well as the carriage system for the Starship launch tower. These arms are being built to the north of the Starship factory, while parts of them are being staged around the site. We'll be keeping
More volume? You want more volume? Alright. Sure, all you can handle, bro. That might be a little too much. Hold on, let me just put this down here.
track of the buildup of these as the SpaceX team puts together the giant arms and carriage system that will help them stack and unstack Starship rockets, as well as catch landing boosters and ships as they return from their missions. Moving back to the tower build area, the third level for the tower was being prepared for rollout. This section already has its scaffolding installed, with stairs installed as well. Cryogenic pipes can also be seen on this segment. Likewise, progress continues on the other segments, with the fifth level getting its stairs installed on its central truss. These stairs temporarily replace the elevator until the tower is stacked and the component can be installed. Along with Section 5, a newly assembled tower section is being built to the west. The seventh segment has 3 columns up and some of the cross beams installed as well. Close to it we can see an interesting piece of the tower, half a column. This is likely one of the columns for sections 8 or 9, which will be shorter and make up the top of the tower. Much like we saw at Starbase, the top 2 levels sport shorter columns and take on a different shape to accommodate the roof of the tower. Over at the tent area, we can see that several more cryogenic pipes are being staged.
Watch how Uncle Barben works, Elwood. Some people call them demons. I call them Elons.
With work on a few others already ongoing. Also exciting to see this week is the Mega Bay, located south from here. This area has seen more work on its foundation, with panels put in place for the base to later be filled with concrete. And a lot more foundation work is ongoing on the Starship factory side of the Roberts Road complex. The pile driver is now gone, likely indicating that rebar work is finally complete for the foundation. We can also see conduits and wiring being installed as well, which will later be used in this building by workers and operators once construction of Starship vehicles begins here. Now let's jump north to Launch Complex 39A, where the first 2 tower segments have been stacked on the concrete base. Since the last flyover, the massive Buckner LR11350 crane, the same model used to build the tower at Boca Chica, was also built up and raised and has since installed the first level on the concrete base and the second level on top of the first.
This video is actually out of date. There's 3 sections over there now. Just thought I'd let you know.
The crane here is still attached to that second level. In these same views, we can see that the place for the drawworks of the tower, that is the equipment that powers the carriage system to move the chopsticks up and down, is now being enclosed due to the presence of a roof and a couple of walls in this location. In the future, this enclosure will protect the important and delicate machinery that powers the Mechazilla system. More work is also ongoing on the mysterious structure located on the octagonal foundations seen a few flyovers ago.
Still can't figure out what that
related
is.
to this, there's a mysterious hexagonal structure being built over at the old Starship landing pad. We can see a crane working on it, and a hexagonal shape can be assumed from the objects it is working on. This hexagonal mystery object would appear to be roughly the same size as the mystery structure to the north of here. It's still yet to be seen what these 2 objects will be used for, but we'll certainly be keeping an eye out for these, and let us know in the comments your best guess as to what they are for. Over on the main ramp of Pad 39A, the Falcon Transporter Erector, or TE, is getting prepared for its next launch, which is now expected to be the CRS-25 mission. This flight had been delayed for several weeks after a hydrazine leak was discovered in the service section of the capsule. SpaceX took the opportunity to launch a Starlink from the pad in the meantime, but is now preparing once again to launch the mission. We can see the top insert of the Strongback has been removed as teams prepare to install the one used for Dragon missions. The Strongback uses different top sections depending on whether the rocket launching from the pad has a fairing or a Dragon atop it.
Yeah, it's this piece right here.
Let's move south from Pad 39A to another SpaceX launch site, Space Launch Complex 40. We can see the Strongback has picked up the reaction frame and has rolled back halfway to the hangar for rocket integration. Continuing south to Port Canaveral, we were able to spot one of SpaceX's Dragon recovery vessels, Shannon, coming back from sea trials. Her sister ship, Megan, was waiting at its usual dock next to Rusty's Seafood and Oyster Bar,
24 hours
which hosts our 24/7 Fleet Cam livestream of SpaceX's marine assets. At SpaceX's main dock on the other side of the port, multi-purpose recovery vessel Bob is sitting next to the Just Read the Instructions drone ship, which awaits its next mission assignment. It recently came back from the Globalstar FM-15 mission with B-1061-9, which can also already be seen horizontal along with a pair of fairing halves. These halves will be taken back to Hangar X at Roberts Road, where they will be refurbished and processed for their next flight. And
Alright, here, you know what? I won't keep pausing. We'll watch through the whole video.
For the Artemis 1 mission which is currently standing atop Launch Complex 39B, has completed its wet dress rehearsal tasks, with wet dress rehearsal number 4 providing enough
Very
data
nice.
to satisfy the test objectives, despite a hydrogen leak that ultimately stopped the SLS practice countdown at T-minus 29 seconds instead of T-minus 9.3 seconds. After performing a hot fire test on the hydraulic power units for the rocket's twin solid rocket boosters, teams are now preparing to bring SLS back to the vehicle assembly building for final pre-launch checks and
I have an answer for you
configurations.
tomorrow, Snick.
So when will this mighty vehicle be ready for launch? NASA has yet to set a date, but later this summer is definitely a possibility. Moving back to the south, Blue Origin has been increasing its public outreach for its BE-4 engine, though not much has been seen of its New Glenn rocket, and the same can be said about rocket sightings overall at Blue's large facility at the Cape. However, progress is being made on the testing side of the facility, with the 2CAT, or the second stage cleaning and testing facility,
Stream what, man?
now in its final stages
Ow.
of completion.
I don't want
This
to.
is a key facility for the second stage of New Glenn. The potential of seeing a second stage being hoisted into the 2CAT will be one of the key indicators of New Glenn's path to readiness prior to a mated rocket being rolled out to the launch site at Launch Complex 36. This roll will take place on a custom-made Stromback transporter system that is currently being assembled inside the Cape facility. The launch site itself was completed some time ago, waiting for the rocket that will likely have to wait its turn to launch. This is because its BE-4 engines are first allocated to a major Blue Origin customer and partner, the United Launch Alliance, for use on their own new rocket, Vulcan. Other notable sites include some further expansion of the campus. Relativity Space's first Terran 1 rocket arrived earlier this month, and its first stage is now installed at the company's launch pad at Launch Complex 16. Tim Ellis, CEO of the company, recently explained on Twitter that Relativity is preparing the stage for a full-duration static fire on the pad later this summer. In this test, the teams will fuel the stage and fire all 9 Aeon 1 engines that will power this new rocket as if it were launching on an actual mission. The rocket's first test flight is still slated for later this year on the same vehicle currently standing on LC-16. Progress is also being made at the launch and landing facility over at the Kennedy Space Center, where retention ponds are now filled and roads are being paved. Space Florida expects this expansion of KSC to be used for companies building more aerospace hardware to be launched perhaps from the Cape or elsewhere. One of these companies includes Terran Orbital, a small satellite manufacturing company, not to be confused with the rocket discussed earlier. Terran Orbital is expected to break ground later this year a bit north of this location, where they expect to build hundreds of satellites from here. This company is the same one that built the upcoming Capstone spacecraft being launched by Rocket Lab, which will test the orbit of NASA's Gateway Station around the Moon. And testing your knowledge of something new isn't unique to Capstone, as our sponsor for today's video, Brilliant, showcases. Brilliant is a wonderful tool for STEM.
Okay, cool. So that's pretty good. There's a lot of stuff to go in and look through there. But okay, so Linus, what were you asking? Would I debate a SpaceX skeptic? Honestly, no, not really. If they were gonna bring a good faith argument to the table, I probably would, dude. But the thing is, man, I'm not here to change people's minds. I'm not here to tell people what to think. I teach you how to think, or at least that's what I like to think that I do. I think that I like to think that I teach you how to think. Yeah, see, don't listen to me. No, but I find that people just like arguing for the sake of arguing. With that being said, like, you know, if people are skeptical, I mean, you already do that on stream. Shut up. Wait, I mean, hi. No. It's got to be your bowl. Yes, you just made a lot of videos, 65,000 subs. Yeah, the thing is that, like, okay, anybody can sit here and say that Starship is not going to work. All right, Linus, I think that's just a very convenient opinion to have. Why do I think it's a convenient opinion? It's a very convenient opinion to have because that's very easy to say. That's a very safe opinion. What do I mean it's a very safe opinion? Well, everyone here understands, at least on a base level, that doing that is not something that's easy to do, right? So, you know, that's just basic probability that there's going to be some failures, right? It's just basic probability to say, you know, that there's going to be some failures. Starships are going to blow up. They're probably not going to nail the catch right away. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's easy to say, you know, something isn't going to work when somebody's trying to break the mold on how we think about a certain idea. right? Like, there were people that were skeptical of Henry Ford. There were people that were skeptical of Boeing when they rolled out with the 707. You know, anytime, or there's people that were skeptical of Concorde. Look at how well that thing performed. It was a great vehicle, right? Space Shuttle too. The Space Shuttle arguably is a fantastic vehicle, right? Like, it's just a very convenient opinion to have. And more often than not, like, I've gone and looked at these skeptics videos. I've gone and looked at them, and it seems like they play devil's advocate on purpose. Just, and once again, I'm not speaking to any particular person. It's just a pattern that I've noticed. They speak with a healthy amount of skepticism towards the subject to basically give them. It seems like they do that to give themselves a convenient out, because it's easy to say. It's not some striking revelation to say that Starship isn't going to work on the first try. Not even Elon Musk says that. You know what I mean? It's very easy to be like, oh, it's not going to work. And then when it fails, be like, yep, see, I told you so. That's a very easy opinion to have. It's a very convenient opinion to have, and it's a very convenient opinion to back up when you know somebody is trying something new. Understand? This is why I won't go and debate these people, because it's a very basic opinion to have, to basically be a doubter and then cover yourself up. Oh, I'm just skeptical. You know, saying that it's not going to work is really easy to say. It's really easy to say, and it's really easy and a convenient thing to say from the frigging peanut gallery. You know what I'm saying? This is why I don't doubt any spaceflight company, even companies like Spin Launch. I won't doubt them. No, they can do it. I know they can do it, because there's nothing that says that they can't. There's no physics barrier that's going to say that they can't do it, right? I have healthy respect for every single person, or any single type of company that throws their hat into the ring to try and shoot stuff off into orbit. They have my respect. And I will be cheering every single one of these companies on every step of the way. With that being said, it's very easy to be skeptical. It's very easy to be a naysayer. That's a very convenient opinion to have, because, of course, the odds aren't in your favor. So that tells me that these skeptics, at the very least, understand basic probability and that the odds are stacked against you. You know what I mean? But that doesn't also necessarily mean that you're not going to succeed, right? It just seems like a lot of these skeptics, and once again, I'm not trying to make a blanket statement or anything, Linus. It just seems like a lot of these skeptics cover up their lack of understanding about the subject with blanket statements like, oh, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. And then when something goes wrong, they all use that as, see, I was right. See, it's not working. I was right. I only know this because that's what everybody said about Falcon 9 back in the day. There's a lot of new faces with spaceflight, man. But I've been doing this for a long time, man. I'm doing this for a long time. Long time. In 2014, it was you'll never land a booster. Okay? In 2015, is you're never going to land, after SpaceX landed one, you're never going to be able to land that on the drone ship reliably. And then they did. And then after that, it's like, oh, you're never going to be able to reuse it. And then they did that. And then these skeptics and these people that claim that they're holding on to something. Oh, see, I have the ticket here that SpaceX doesn't understand. I've thought of something that the entirety of SpaceX's engineering core hasn't thought of, and this is what's going to make them fail. And they'll never be able to reuse stages because of this. And then they start reusing stages. Oh, well, they'll never be able to reuse stages 10 times. Now they're reusing them 10 times. It doesn't make any sense to reuse the fairings because they're not expensive. And then they start reusing fairings. Oh, you'll never be able to reuse them 15 times. And now a Falcon 9 has flown 13 times. And now it's, Starship's never going to work. You know what I mean? It's a very convenient and very easy opinion to be a naysayer. I think it takes a lot more time and it takes a lot more critical thinking to instead think about all the possible ways that it could work instead of all the possible ways that it could not work. Edison said, look, I didn't fail. I just figured out 1,000 different ways to make a light bulb not work. You know what I mean? I think it's way more difficult and it takes way more thinking to be able to figure out the positive value of that, the positive side of things. It's very easy to do 5 seconds of critical thinking and find one of the 1,000 ways that Starship isn't going to work, and then hang on to it like a squirrel hanging onto a nut, and then make syndicated 30-minute YouTube videos every week for the next freaking year or so about how, oh, I got the one thing. This is the one thing that Elon hasn't been able to figure out. I know it. Me, random person on the internet. I have it figured out. I know better than him. No, Starship is never going to work because of... That's a very easy thing to do. It's a very easy thing to do. It's very easy to find ways that stuff is not going to work. Because with rocket science, there's a bajillion different ways that it couldn't work. And there's only one way that it could work. Understand? This is why I don't debate people like that. I don't debate people like that. It's not worth my time. The one with the deodorant. Yes. Hey, Vega. 15-month resub. Metroid, I wouldn't call a peak amount stupid. These people aren't stupid. It's just the scientific method is, you know, like they're getting wrapped up in the scientific method, you know, right? Like it's about being skeptical. It's about being skeptical. It's about being skeptical. It's about being skeptical. Well, it's a common virtue of being scientific, being skeptical, being scientific. Yeah, you're not supposed to be skeptical all the time. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to piss in these guys' pools. I don't know any of them particularly, so I try not to talk about people behind their back, except for a couple of people. You know what I mean? Like if they want to go and they think they have the way, you know, this is the way that Elon Musk, he hasn't taken this into account, and if they're right, they're right. I'll be the first one to say it, you know? Like I just think that's very easy. It's very easy to be a naysayer. That's a very easy thing to do in this day and age. It's a very easy thing to doubt people. That's just too easy. That's too easy for me. You know what I mean? I like to think about all the ways that Starship could work. And there's not a lot. And that's self-admitted from Elon himself. Successful outcome is a viable pathway. That's what he said in Tim's video. But even he himself is a naysayer. You know what I mean? To an extent. And it's his damn design. Oh, yeah. Dunning-Kruger Metroid. Yes, yeah, peak amounts. Yeah, I know, I got you. I don't know, man. I just dedicate a very, very high amount of time. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be one of those people that's like, oh, I've done my research. Huh? Nobody likes those people. I've done my research. I went on Facebook. No. Or, well, I've done my research too, and I went on Reddit. No. I spend copious amounts of time reading through scientific papers, technical resources. We do it on stream. You guys watch me learn this stuff over time. That's why I like doing this long format content. Why I wouldn't like doing YouTube videos, for instance. I mean, even though we probably should at this point. Losing my voice very quickly. I take the time. To break stuff down, to learn, to understand it, and then be able to teach it. And if it's one thing that I've learned, is that, it's just very easy. It's very convenient to be a naysayer. It's very easy to say, oh, the space shuttle was a piece of junk. Or, oh, the Saturn V was too expensive. Or, oh, SLS is too expensive. It's easy to be a naysayer. That's an easy thing to do. And I find that people latch on to that. They latch on to, you know, this one thing. Oh, squirrel is a nut. You know, it's a squirrel with a nut. I'm never letting go of this. This is the reason why it doesn't work. You know, it's very easy to get into that mentality. And fellas, I'll be honest with you. I'm not above that either. I've done it a couple of times. I did it with SpaceX's payload bay for Starship. I always said that SpaceX and Starship is gonna have shuttle-style doors that open up like this, not like this, like this.
Discovery.
I've always said that, but there's 2 Starships down at Boca Chica being put together that do not have that for a payload bay dispenser. They have a Pez dispenser. Now, I'll admit, I didn't see that one coming. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. But I always thought that Starship would be easier for integration if they had shuttle-style payload doors instead of the chopper fairing. But it seems very clear that they're probably not doing something like that. I've been there. I've done this stuff before. It's a very easy logic loop to get stuck in. But at the end of the day, it demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of how this all works. In science, you don't find that one nut and then go search for ways to confirm that that's true. This is a bottle cap, by the way. It's worth money in the future. That's what I've been told. 2070 should be worth something. That's a very easy way to get stuck. It's a very easy way to go into this saying, like, I think that this is going to happen and I'm going to search for conforming information. That's a very bad way. That's not being scientific at all. That's not forming a hypothesis. That's not trying to prove your own idea wrong. That's going around and looking for confirmational sources that are going to confirm what you're saying, not go against it. That's not scientific. That's not using the scientific method. That's just being skeptical and just wanting to hold on to your idea. Because it's like a squirrel holding on to a nut. And I've seen plenty of people wring this idea out and wring this idea out and wring this idea out, blah, 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 blah. SpaceX will never do this, they'll never do that, the EIS will never pass, blah, 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 blah. And then it just happens. And then all these people shut up and they find another nut to hang on to. It happens. It happens with SLS, it happens with Starship, it happens with Falcon 9, it happens everywhere. It's almost like people just want to hold on to that and look. They want to hold on to it out of some vague, like, hope that this nut is going to be right. You know, it's a very strange phenomenon, but I have noticed it. And once again, I am not insusceptible to this. It happens to me too. It's very easy for that to happen, but at least I acknowledge it. You know what I mean? It's very easy to say no, that's not going to work. No, it's not going to work. No one's ever tried to make a two-stage fully reusable launch system. Of course it's going to be difficult. Of course you're going to run into bumps. Thanks for the brilliant revelation. Thank you. Really appreciate it. How about instead of trying to find all the ways that it's not going to work, which is really easy to find one or the other, right? How about we find ways that it is going to work? I always thought that to be a more productive logic exercise. Remember, not why are you doing that? What are you trying to do? It's this stuff makes way more sense if you think about it that way. Not all the ways that it can go wrong. Right? Not even Gene Kranz says think about stuff like that. If you go read, failure is not an option. You can't predict every unknown failure mode. There are unknown unknowns. There are things you won't be able to predict. Meaning that probability states that something is likely to go wrong. Murphy's Law is very, very, very at its purest when you're in space, right? So it's very easy to say that something's going to go wrong. That's a very easy. That's not a shocking new revelation. You know what I mean? That's why. Once again, I go and guys, I watch all kinds of stuff. I watch UFO stuff. I watch conspiracy theory stuff because it's fun. It's entertainment, right? And I really like proving these people wrong. Like I'm like, nope, that's not right. Nope. You don't understand what you're talking about. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an expert either. I'm saying that no one is. You know what I mean? There's no single foremost expert on every single facet of spaceflight. No, there's nobody like that. Not even Elon. Elon has an army of engineers to back him up. You know what I mean? Like, and I go and watch these, these SpaceX skeptics and stuff. I watch them. I see them. You know. I don't mind it, and I'm not going to say that they shouldn't do what they do, you know, because it's just opinions, right? Like, I have more beef with people that report the news in a false pretense. I have more of a problem with that than I do with these people just saying their opinion about Starship, to be honest, because one's an opinion. An opinion is where you could say, well, I think this is going to happen, which is what those guys do, Linus, as opposed to there are certain space reporters out there that say the opposite of that. They say, I think this is going to happen, and that's the news. Well, how do you know that? Well, somebody told me. I find that to be more annoying than, you know, all these different SpaceX skeptics people that are out there. I find that to be way more annoying, you know? Guess you got hay fever because of course I did. Sinus headaches and yeah, or not, it's a good time. You know, I would prefer, you know what, I'd straight up, I'd rather hang around with the skeptics, Linus, than hang around with people like that. I'm dead serious about that. Did you enjoy New Mexico? Yeah, you're damn right I did. Yeah, it was fun. So, yeah, you know, I don't know. I always thought it's just a very easy and convenient way to say, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. No, of course. That's a very safe opinion to have because probability states that it's not going to work because no one's ever done this before. It's a very easy thing to say. It's very simple. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't waste my breath with these guys. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because they're so hung up on it. They ain't gonna change their minds. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the effort. Let them talk. You can say whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Don't bother me. That's a lot of images. It picks for you. That's a lot of pictures, man. I gotta get through space news and then we'll we'll go and. Oh man, there's a lot of nice cars and trucks. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Electron will have to go through after that. I just got back from vacation in Hawaii. Went to Pearl Harbor. Man, you guys are just getting all the nice pictures. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, oh, well, that's what I'm talking about, man. Look at frickin'... Yeah, Mighty Mo. Hell yeah, now we're talking. We'll check these pictures out at the end of Space News, okay? Oh, hell yeah. I wouldn't waste my breath. Spend 15 minutes of Space News ranting. Oh, wow, you're so edgy. Wow, what a revelation, Balxy. It's like you're the golden boy or something. Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor and stop harassing me. I don't go to the moron factory where you work and tell you how to do things. All right, let's see. Let's go back and look through the NSF flyover footage. File it under research? Yeah, will do. Wait, how did Tough Enough like the car show? I didn't get to go to the damn car show. I got COVID, guys. I got COVID on the plane back from New Mexico. I didn't go, I had a fever. Sucks. I missed my favorite car show. There was 1,000 cars there. My buddies went. Sucked, dude. Bomber N95 on all planes for me. Yeah, I guess my mask didn't work. Yeah, no, I got off the plane. And I don't know, man. Maybe I got it in New Mexico somewhere. I got off the plane and I just didn't feel right. And then I woke up the day of the auto show and I'm like, huh? Was it 103? I had 101 fever and it was 101 sustained for like a couple hours. It was not good. I felt like a turkey roasting in an oven. Tested? Oh yeah. Yeah, the thing instantly ticked it, man. I put the drop in the thing and it went zip. I'm like, well, all right. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to hibernate for the next couple of days. Yeah, the thing instantly zapped and like it was like, I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I should go lie down. I haven't gone outside since. The only time I've been outside, fellas, was to go do the walkthrough today, but don't worry. I had my realtor show up, separate car, and FaceTime around the house, and Bree and I stayed in the car. Hey, it worked. It worked. Yeah, it was like super, and it instantly ticked. I'd never seen it tick that fast before. I'm like, okay. Yep. So that's why my voice is gone, because that's the leftovers. I'm coming back. That's why I needed Sunday and Monday off, guys. I was not doing good. It was a bad couple of days, but Primo's all right, King. I got prescribed bronchial steroids because it's respiratory. It's severe acute respiratory syndrome, right? That's what COVID is. It's a respiratory infection. So I have a bronchial steroid that I'm taking, and I got it from my doctor, and Bree got it at the same time, and she started taking it too. So she tested herself when I was on break. She was negative, so I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I've not past couple of days for your boy have not been fun. Hot tea with honey. Yeah. Shadow Man, I've been doing this for 10 years. I know how to keep this thing going. There's not much I can do when my lungs are full of crap. Oh, I forgot about this for space. Falcon Head. Yeah, I got it. But yeah. Yeah, Buck, that's what I've been doing. And then when we close tomorrow, hopefully, I am going to, we're just going to stay inside of the car. And then my real estate lawyer will just pass papers between cars. That's it. Yeah, of course, King. Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. Past couple of days not been good for your boy, but it's all right, man. I'll bounce back. That's right, Tan. Given that you know what severe acute respiratory syndrome stands for, I can see you have taken the time to rabbit hole dive into COVID info as expected. Ian, it's me. It's me, dude. I knew this before I got COVID. Actually, this is my first time getting it. I managed to steer clear, guys. I'm a little bit of a germaphobe. Like, I hit the hand sanitizer a lot. Like, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow roundabout. Yep. Guess that beer is there. We'll have to wait a few days. Yeah, it'll be all right. So, yeah. Of course, this happened. Same here. I got it on Saturday. The wife and baby are negative. Well, that's good. Alarming. Yeah. Guys, it's not too bad. And don't get me wrong, you shouldn't take it lightly. Everybody is different. And that's why the whole 2020 thing happened, is because everybody has a different kind of reaction to a respiratory thing. You can be predisposed to, not to wax intellectual about medical stuff. I just got through saying that, you shouldn't be talking about stuff that you don't know too much about. But I know that, with a respiratory infection, there are going to be people that are predisposed to it. There are going to be people that are predisposed to it due to health conditions. There's going to be people that are predisposed to it due to hereditary conditions. Like if you're asthmatic, if you have a hereditary asthmatic condition. So, meaning if you have asthma and your parents had asthma, then COVID can really screw you up. So, like, yeah, that's like I said, that's the reason why 2020 and 2021 happened the way they did. Because, yeah, it could be just a mild freaking fever, like it was for me, or it could kill you. Yeah. But for me, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I was all right. Once again, my lung capacity is pretty good because I sit here and talk all day. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Yeah, that's right, Tech. Something like that, Katra, yeah. Also, no smoking. Well, that's what I mean. That's a health thing. Like, I've noticed that COVID, just through different times looking around, I noticed that COVID affects people that are more on the obese side, because lungs, oxygen, heart needs to work more because there's more blood to pump around, bigger person. That's what I mean about a health condition. But once again, I ain't no medical expert, dudes. I don't know. Let's go back into looking at the NSF stuff. But yeah, it kicked my butt for about 12 hours. And then I fought back. Yep. And then EJ was like, no, must rock it. Working from home must be rough, right? Oh, yeah. Such a pain in the butt. No, Arsenal, my doctor knows what I do. She knows all about what I do. Guys, I have a doctor's appointment once a month to make sure that, actually I get my blood work done once a month, and this is on my doctor's recommendation, to make sure that my circulation is still good, because I sit here for long periods of time. So. Yep. Alright. You need to start doing wind sprints in that new backyard of yours. Yep, anyway. So, yeah, that's what's been going on with me. So, I gotta close tomorrow, and we gotta do it remotely in a car while distancing. So that should be fun. I'll have news for you as soon as I can. But guys, I'm gonna stop the stream after space news because I gotta get up in the morning, and I have to at least look healthy. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's see what we got. All right, so
rocket. Phew. It's sure been a busy time at the Cape and Kennedy Space Center over the past few weeks.
let's take a
We're
look.
here to break it all down for you. Hi, I'm Hagen Warren with NASA Spaceflight. And
There's the Saturn V Visitor Center. There's a Saturn V in that building right there.
let's dive right in. At Roberts Road, many changes can
Sure,
be seen
Hotbox.
since the last flyover. One drastic and obvious.
Okay, so these are the tower segments. That tower segment is actually there. They moved it yesterday. So the third, actually, it was 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. I think it's that one that moved right there.
One is
Yeah, there you go,
the
Grab.
first two tower segments constructed.
Now, I want to show you guys this. I like zooming in and stopping this footage from time to time, but I wanted to make sure we watched this whole thing through once without me interrupting too much. Now, check this out. Look at the verboten porta potty. See the porta potties? Look at the porta potties compared to the jigs. Look at the shipping containers compared to it. I always like to point out scale. That's my favorite thing in the world to do. Point out the scale, the sheer freaking scale of these structures. It's absolutely
These
ridiculous.
two tower sections were rolled out in the past
Yeah,
few weeks to
see?
LC-39A for tower buildup and stacking. Check out NASA Spaceflight streams of those and keep an eye out as we bring you coverage of future rollouts as
There
well.
we go. It's important to look that these tower segments now this is for the 39A Starship pad. Look, these tower segments already have fuel and commodity lines hooked up. They're already on there in prefabricated form with all the conduits and all the wiring.
The footstands used to transport the first two tower segments are now back at Roberts Road.
Banana
These
for
exactly
scale.
the complex is no
Indeed.
surprise. But what is interesting to note, though, is the fact that they were installed back onto their concrete stands. They would be back only if they needed to build more tower segments on those locations. However, we don't expect more than 9 tower segments to be built for the Starship launch tower at LC-39.
Yeah, there you go.
And Roberts
Thomas.
Road has all the concrete
It's pretty
stands
crazy.
needed for those 9 segments.
They didn't do it like that in Boca. Yeah, they installed all the conduits after the fact, but I think they're doing it. They're doing more prefabricated segments here at Grav Shark because they can't set up a whole construction site at 39A because it's an active launch pad.
The
That's
last two
just a
concrete
theory,
stands
though.
were completed last month and are located to the southwest.
I mean, the progress though is unreal.
SpaceX
This is
has
so
plans for more launch
fast.
towers to be built in the near future, perhaps for their upcoming launch pads at Launch Complex 49 north of Launch Complex 39B. But the most exciting change at Roberts Road is the appearance of the chopstick
Look at
side
that,
and
the catch arms.
as well as the carriage.
There they are, and then there's the carriage right there as well. Check that out. You got the carriage going on right there, and then you have the catch arms. That's pretty nuts, man. It's pretty nuts that they're already coming together.
System for the Starship launch tower. These arms are being built to the north of the Starship factory, while parts of them are being staged around the site.
Yep.
We'll be keeping track of the buildup of these as the SpaceX team puts together the giant arms and
Not
carriage
enough
systems that will help
prefamulated
stack
components?
and
Yeah.
unstack Starship rockets.
Need more prefamulated amulite. Once again, just look at the people standing next to this stuff, and look at the trucks and the cranes.
Discovery.
It
go
should be
throttle.
pretty easy to see how big this freaking thing actually is. Like, these are scales that you just don't like. It's hard for even my brain. Like, I understand how big this thing is, but you know, I'd have to go see it in real life to really understand it. Like, that is an insanely big piece of equipment. Hey, Xeon,
Moving
what's
back
going
to
on?
tower building, the third level for the tower was being prepared for rollout. This section already has its scaffolding installed, with stairs installed as well. Cryogenic pipe.
Not saying it won't work, but do you think they are going fast, being that the one in Boca has not worked yet? No, Contra, I think they're going fast with this pad because they can only launch so many times from Boca Chica in a 12-month period because of the environmental report. The Cape, on the other hand, they can launch as much as they want. So that leads me to believe that we'll see R&D missions fly out of Boca Chica, and most likely operational missions fly out of here, or more active test flying, from what I understand. 24 times at the Cape.
Can also be
I think between, what is it at Boca, Vulcan? It's,
getting its stairs installed on its central truck.
what is it at Boca?
These stairs
It's
temporarily
10,
replace the
right?
elevator.
10 times?
It's stacked and the component can be installed, along with section.
Is it 5, Phil? I thought it was 10. 5 orbital. Yeah. 5 orbital plus 24. So that should be enough to launch Starship 2 times in a 12-month period between... Oh, come on, voice. Let's go. In a 12-month period between the Cape and Boca Chica, you could go almost 30 times, which should be enough. It should be enough at least for the next couple of years.
5, a newly assembled tower section is being...
I'm working on it, STX.
The 7th segment has 3 columns up and some of the cross beams installed as well. Close to it, we can see an interesting piece of the tower. Half a column.
Yeah, there's the top
This is likely
segment.
one
That's
of
the 9th
columns for
segment.
Sections 8 or 9, which will be shorter and make...
Launch from Boca, land first stage at the Cape. It's too far down range, tweets. If I had to guess, they'll probably assemble the first starships. And once again, I don't think that this is another one of those convenient kind of things. Like, this isn't some shocking revelation or anything. But from what I can surmise, they're going to finish the Cape pad, but it's pretty dang obvious that the Starship factory that's going to be at Roberts Road down the Cape is not going to be done anytime soon, and that is a monster big factory. That's not going to be done for a while, which leads me to believe that, I think you're right on the money saying that, they're going to make Starships in Boca. I just don't think they're going to launch them from there and land them at the Cape. I don't think that's going to happen. What I do think is going to happen is that they're probably going to move some starships via barge, Starship and a Super Heavy via barge down to Cape Canaveral that way. Because if you think about it, there's a viable pathway from the port of Brownsville right to the VAB, right? Which is why I think that SpaceX is looking at using a VAB high bay as a storage and maintenance facility for Super Heavies and Starships. My space fan theory, though, thinks that it should be a storage facility for Starship, Super Heavies, and the launch pad. But we can dream. Hey, Sertoy, 8-month resub. And then James with a 34-month resub. Thank you. Could they build a port right off the beach? They don't need to. The VAB is already there. There's no point in doing that.
Discovery.
Hey, Urban, 47-month resub. Space dreams are the best dreams. You're damn right.
On a different shape to accommodate the roof of the tower. Over at the tent area, we can see that several more cryogenic pipes are being staged.
Yep, there's more commodity lines right there. You know that these are for moving cryogenic propellants because they have the white and black insulation on them. It's a really easy way to see that these things will be moving something cold because this white and black stuff is insulation. I know. I'm talking in circles. I'll shut up.
With work on a few others already ongoing. Also,
Oh, no. It's a national seashore. You can't do that, Contra. They have to use
This
Brownsville.
area has seen more work on its foundation, with panels put in place for the base.
Okay, let me take a look here. So if I'm looking at this right, guys, we have the pilings. These are all the pilings for the high bay right here. And it looks like the pilings are set in a slurry. If I'm looking at this, see how this looks like just like they poured concrete into the ground and it just kind of set where it's set? That's because it's basically what it is. These pilings and these metal grates probably go down a good way. In fact, I remember we looked at the core samples. I could probably tell you how far they go down and what they go down into, but that's another story. So obviously, if you dig a hole down that far, it's easily 50 feet down. So what's 50 divided by 3? Like 20 meters, something like that. It's actually a little less than that. It's like 16, 17 meters. It's a little ways down, right? When you dig that far down in Florida, you're going to run into water. So what these guys do is they dig all these holes, they put all the rebar in there, and then they start pumping concrete. They put a hose down the hole, and they start pumping concrete in at the bottom of the hole underwater. The concrete fills up, and it obviously doesn't float because it's concrete. It's rocks and sand and gravel, right? And it fills up the hole, and it displaces all the water. That's called a slurry mix. And they do that to make sure that all these are cast in concrete, and the hole that they dug, the concrete stays in it, and it basically gives it a nice anchor into the ground. That's what they did for every single one of these things. And it looks like when they got up to the top to displace the water out of here, they poured the slurry over the whole thing. That's why if you look, this concrete was poured without any forms or anything. It's just kind of there. You see that? There's no defining line right there. As opposed to the foundation concrete right here, which has these forms attached to it. See that? This is going to give you a nice square block of concrete, and that's the foundation. The foundation is attached to the slurry, which is attached to the pilings, which go down a long way, basically making this thing anchored into the ground. It ain't going nowhere. You got to make sure you slap it a couple of times, though, and say, that ain't going nowhere. That's important. That will add at least 3 rigidities. I'm going with the theory of making the starships in Boca, rolling it out and yeeting it to the Cape with a quick hop. Why? Because it would be cool. Yeah, for coolness factor, cavemen, yeah, but for realistic factor, I'd say no. Just like for coolness factor, it'd be really neat if SpaceX had the crawler and they had a mobile launcher that had the chopsticks and the orbital launch pad on it that they rolled out and rolled that to 39A with the second crawler transporter. That would be cool, but that is highly unlikely. It would be cool, though.
To later be filled with concrete. And a lot more foundation work is ongoing on the Starship factory.
Now, see, they have slurry, right? But, look. They have the slurry. The slurry's at the bottom of these things. Now they have forms to pour the foundations for the concrete. Now, the foundation for the entire factory is going to be one big sheet of concrete. But where it's holding up these supports, it needs to be a little bit thicker. Hence the bigger forms here. See how tall those forms are? This is going to be the parts that's holding up the rafters. The rafters, well, they're not rafters, they're joists. The columns and then the joists that go across that hold the roof up. You're gonna have a lot of load concentrated on one point. That's why check this out. See, they have these forms here. But if you've noticed, another interesting thing to notice is that if I'm looking at this right, it looks like they pour the form. Actually, no. There's no slurry here now that I'm looking at it. They pour the form. They take the forms out, and then they do what's called backfilling. This is a backfill right there. Basically, you take the forms out, and then you push and grade the dirt, and then flatten it around the concrete slab right there. Now, once again, that doesn't mean that the dirt inside of this the floor inside of the Star Factory is going to be this dirt. They're going to put down another layer of concrete on this, but they'll most likely do it after the roof is on. I mean, you could do it before the roof is on. It doesn't really matter. But you don't want to, if you do it after, like if they make the roof is going to be easier when you can move around on the dirt. You don't want to pour all this and then wait a long time, right? You don't want to pour all the concrete and then wait like 3 months for all of it to cure and then try to build the roof on top of wet concrete, right? So they're probably going to build it. They're probably going to build the roofs first, if I had to guess, and then they're going to pour the concrete on the inside.
Now gone, likely indicating that rebar work is finally complete for the project. We can also see conduits and wiring being installed as well, which will later be used in this building by workers and operators once construction of Starship vehicles begins here.
See, there's your forms right there. There's your forms, and then there's a block of concrete with no forms on it. And the reason why they haven't backfilled this is because there's going to be conduit lines right there. I'm wondering how many overhead cranes this building is going to have. I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you.
Now let's jump north to Launch Complex 39A, where the first 2 tower segments have been stacked on the concrete base.
Yeah.
Since the last flyby.
Yeah, check that out, dudes. Liebherr 11350. That's about as big of a freaking lattice crane as you can get. There's only one type of lattice crane that I know that's bigger than that, and the thing literally looks like a sand crawler. I'm trying to get you guys. Oh yeah, the 13,000. Its bigger brother. This is the biggest crane. Here, let me show you a picture of this frickin' thing. Yeah, here. That's an 11,350. This is a 13,000. Yeah, note the staircase. It's an 11,350, guys. That's an 11. This one is not an 11,350. That's bigger. That's a 13,000. From Boca to pad 39B, it's 1,100. That's too far, Jim. Yeah, he's running a little bit of counterweight. Each one of these blocks right here that say Liber on it is 22,000 pounds, or about 10,000 kilos. Oh yeah, the 3,100. Yeah, there is one bigger crane. Manitowoc. Yeah, the 31,000. That's the biggest. Yeah, you're right, Thomas. That's the double crawler. That thing is way bigger. Look at that. Look at that frickin' thing. Yeah, like I said, frickin' Jawa sand crawler. Thing's gigantic. Yeah, big frickin' cranes. It's cool. I mean, really, they're really frickin' cool. So, interesting thing here. You want to see some scale. So from the deck height of the pad to about here is about, I don't know, what is it? 250 feet, so about 25 stories. Look at the crane compared to that. The crane is sitting down on the ground. And I know that right here, the pad's about 100 feet off the ground. I've walked on one of these things before. 39B, not A, but they're pretty identical. Well, not anymore, but so we're about 300 feet off the ground right here, about 30 stories up, give or take. Crane, the crane's not even, that's not even close to the top of the crane. Up here is about 500 feet. I mean, remember, it's got to stack this thing. That thing is 9 segments tall, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Tower's going to be up here somewhere. Now I know what you're going to say. Okay, well, that crane's not big enough. Well, the cool thing about these cranes is that they're built like Lego kits. You can just extend the boom. Actually, that's the jibs, but whatever, you get the idea. Actually, jibs are right there. Yeah, jib masts. Cranes borrow terminology from sailing, believe it or not. So you got your main boom right there. The mast is down here, and then you have your derrick right there, and then you got twin jibs right there, and then you got your boom extension. Yeah, I know. Sailing.
The massive Buckner R1350 crane, the same model used to build the tower at Boca Chica, was also built up.
Yeah, she's a beast, dude. Look at that freaking crane.
On the concrete base and the second level on top of the first.
Logan's like, you call?
What's
up, man?
In these same views, we can see that the plate.
I saw the picture that you linked, dude. That's cool.
That is the equipment that powers the carriage system to move the chopsticks up and down. Is now being enclosed due to the presence of a roof and a couple of walls in this location. In the future, this enclosure will protect the important and delicate machinery that powers the Mechazilla system.
Yeah, right, Mappy?
More work is also ongoing on the mysterious structure located on the octagonal foundation.
What material is used for the counterweights? It's cast iron, XTS, if I'm looking at it correctly. Cast iron blocks. It's the heaviest thing around, man. Tower looks weird in person, by the way.
Potentially related to this, there's a mysterious hexagonal structure being built over at the old Starship landing pad. We can see
testing of the 7.1 test tank is underway at Boca. Cool.
Objects it is working on. This hexagonal mystery object would appear to be roughly the same size as the mystery structure to the north of here. It's still yet to be seen what these two objects
I'm not sure. See, they're building another stand over here, and I don't know what it's for. My guess is it's either a payload changeout room for Starship, or it's some kind of test stand.
I'll be keeping an eye out for these, and let us know in the comments.
The config we will see from the last segment, pick taken from Starship Gazer.
The
there you
transporter erector.
Here, yeah, let's take a look. Take a look. There you go. That's what it's going to look like. And the crane won't look like a Skittles advertisement. I'm working on a lunar lander that will have a ramp that's lowered. And a rover drives up and just picks the module off and drives wherever it needs to go. Cool. Yep. See, there's the extension piece. Look at that. That's what we're going to see that at the Cape very soon. Now, keep in mind, this is an older picture from Boca Chica, but we'll see that He said, "But." We'll see that soon over here.
E is getting prepared for its next launch, which is now expected to be the CRS-25
Oh
mission.
yeah, Vulcan. There you
This
go.
flight had been delayed for several weeks after a hydrogen leak was discovered in the service section of the capsule. SpaceX took the opportunity to launch a Starlink from the pad in the meantime, but is now preparing once again to launch the mission. We can see the top insert of the Strongback has been removed as teams prepare to install the one used for Dragon missions. The Strongback uses different top sections depending on whether the rocket launching from the...
Hey, fellas, real quick. I wanted to point this out. I didn't point it out last time. So, look at this. Look at this, dudes. You got your 11350 over here, and then you have a second crane right there, and then you have another crane over there. That's another lattice crane. It's another lattice crane with jibs, just like this one. What the hell's that one doing? I'm pretty dang sure that this indicates that the Starship pad isn't the only thing that SpaceX is working on here. I think they're going to start the vertical integration facility, or the VIF, for Falcon 9, so Falcon 9 can fly National Reconnaissance Office missions. They're going to put another tower over here behind this tower that's actually on rails that moves back and forth, and I think that crane on the left is going to start building it.
hexagonal mystery object would appear to be roughly the same size as the mystery structure to the north of here. It's still yet to be seen what these two objects will be used for, but we'll certainly be keeping an eye out for these, and let us know in the comments your best guess as to what they are for. Over on the main ramp of Pad 39A, the Falcon Transporter Erector, or TE, is getting prepared for its next launch, which is now expected to be the CRS-25 mission. This flight had been delayed for several weeks.
But don't they already do NROL launches? Well, yeah, of course. But there are other launches that need a vertical integration facility, and you can't do that with a horizontally integrated rocket. There are sensitive payloads, you know, that are payloads that are very sensitive to gravity. You know what I'm saying? That have very sensitive sensing equipment on it. You picking up what I'm laying down? There could be also very sensitive antennas on these things. Is there another launch today? Where's that launch actually got moved to tomorrow? Yeah, it's tomorrow night. Yeah, SES-22 from SpaceX. Yep. And then we have 2 launches the day after tomorrow. So we got 3 launches in the next 48, which is pretty freaking cool. I'm okay with that. I sense that I'm giving a hint. Yeah, very sensitive, very sensitive payloads. Let me give you a hint. Very sensitive payloads. You see what I'm saying? Just picking up what I'm laying down. Very sensitive payloads. I can tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. They're launching me. Yeah. Or one of my clones. Yeah, we have top men working on these payloads, James. Top men. That was not good for that. Mop 10. Anyway. My boat. It's almost Haas colors, isn't it? All aboard the Steiner ship.
Multi-purpose.
I'm wondering what this thing is right here.
Recovery vessel.
What is that? The one that looks like it has gantry cranes on the top? What is that? Yeah, man, it's a yep. It's a big boat. It's a ship. You could just say, I don't know. Okay, a simple I don't know would have done just fine, but... They use those for going to ports that don't have a gantry. It happens. So, Chris, do these cranes move back and forth on the ship? Because I'm noticing that the crane is not over anything. But there's clearly cargo holds right there, and right there. So you're telling me the cranes can move back and forth on the ship and then move cargo off the side? Oh, that's really cool, actually. It's a bulk hauler with gantry. That's cool. Ballast tanks to stay level. That's really cool, actually. That's, you know, it's cool. Why have the crane there when you could just take the crane with you?
It's sitting next to the
That's pretty neat, dude.
drone ship, which awaits its next mission assignment.
Can I just get another picture of that right here? Yeah, that is what that is, and it looks like that's a bridge crane. It's a bridge crane. Same thing. It's the same thing that you'd use to put the rocket together. That would be at the top of a VIF. It's just a bridge crane on a ship with a helicopter pad on it. You're right. Cranes are pretty neat. You know why cranes are pretty neat? Because they lift things up, and then guess what they do right after that? They put them right back down. And that's pretty neat. Yeah. See those 3 masts over there and those 2 masts right there? You guys know what that is? It's a gas station for ships. True story.
It recently came back from the
Hi,
global
Yuri.
FM-15 mission with B-1061-9, which can also already be seen.
Alright, let's take a look here. There's the processing stool. Hey, Elon, quit playing with your dinghy! And then there's the fairings up there. Look at that. Godzilla. That's right. Oh no. There goes Tokyo. Go Godzilla.
Halves will be taken back to Hangar X at Roberts Road. They will be refurbished and processed
He
for
said
their next
dinghy.
flight. And speaking of rolling back, NASA's SLS rocket for the
He says hi so reluctantly. What's going on, man? Oh, look at that. Orang rocket.
has completed its wet
You guys understand Orang?
with wet dress
Orang rocket, good. Good. Orang. Orang rocket.
SLS practice countdown at T-minus 29 seconds instead of T-minus 9.
Sorry.
After performing a hot fire test,
She's a beast, dude. Look at that
for
thing.
the rocket's twin solid rocket boosters.
I think you
These
meant
are now
Mega
performing
Moon
final
rocket.
SLS
No, I
final
didn't.
pre-launch checks and configuration.
It's Orang. Okay.
So when will this mighty vehicle be ready for launch? NASA has yet to set a date.
Actually, they set a date between the nominal period of August 23rd and September 6th. Like I said, fellas, end of a month. You know why? SLS really can only target launch windows at the end of every month. Something happens every month that has something to do with the thing that SLS is going to. No, seriously, the moon has to be in the right place. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other times when the moon is close enough. But the moon being in the right place isn't the only thing that SLS is targeting. Or the only reason why SLS is targeting certain days. They're trying to figure out what would be the safest recovery conditions. That is a huge mission parameter that is going to need to be figured out. But the 23rd through the 6th, the moon's going to be in the right spot. There's this thing that rockets need to do, you know, when you're going to the moon. This thing is called not missing the moon. Yeah. And they're also trying to target daytime recovery for Orion. That's right, Kev. Yep. You're going to lose your voice. So be it. It'll be back tomorrow, and in greater numbers.
But later this summer is definitely a possibility. Moving back to the south.
Alright, let's see what we
Blue
got with
Origin
the
has been
TCAT.
increasing its public outreach for its BE-4 engine, though not much has been seen of its New Glenn rocket. And the same can be said about rocket sightings overall at Blue's large facility at the Cape. However, progress is being made on the testing side of the facility, with the 2CAT, or the second stage cleaning and testing facility, now in its final stages of completion. This is a key facility for the second stage of New Glenn, The potential of seeing a second stage being hoisted into the 2CAT will be one of the key indicators of New Glen's path to readiness.
So the 2CAT stands for second stage tank cleaning and testing. That's why they call it 2CAT, because it's the second stage. Technically, the name is the second stage TCAT, tank cleaning and testing. Basically, once the factory fabricates up a fuel tank, this is used for tank cleaning and pressurization tests. You don't want any type of foreign object debris inside of the tank. For instance, say somebody's welding up something inside of the tank and a little bit of welding slag gets stuck somewhere. When you go to fill it up with fuel, that welding slag could get caught in a pickup, or even worse, it could get ingested into a turbo pump if it doesn't, if they make it to that point. You guys ever see the videos of birds getting sucked into a jet engine? What that does to the jet engine? Well, that's just a turbine. That's just a turbojet. Turbo pump is spinning way faster than that. You ingest any type of foreign object debris, basically anything that's not liquid fuel and liquid oxidizer, into a BE4 turbo pump, it'll just grenade itself. So you really want to make sure that you clean the inside of the tank as much as you possibly can, purge it out, and then inert the tank. Fill it with like nitrogen or something, but make sure that there's no crap inside of it. That's kind of important. That's what this building is used for. I remember Randy Johnson hitting that bird. Dude, I still can't believe that happened. What are the odds of that, Space Dive? You remember
this
that?
will take place on a custom-made strongback transporter system that is currently being assembled inside the Cape facility. The launch site itself was completed some time ago, waiting for the rocket that will likely have
mincemeat butter
launch. This is because its BE-4 engines were first allocated to a major Blue Origin customer.
Sorry, I had to make the sound effects.
United Launch Alliance for use on their own new rocket,
Hey, baby.
Vulcan. Other notable sites include some
After you have a paint job.
campus.
My car
Relativity
have
Space's
paint jobs
first
too.
Terran 1 rocket arrived earlier this month, and its first stage is now installed at the
To
company's launch pad at
shreds.
Launch Complex 16.
Shreds.
Tim Ellis, CEO of the company,
Tom
recently
Ellis.
explained on Twitter that Relativity is preparing the stage for a full-duration static fire on the pad later this summer.
Actually, while we're on that note, I should have something right here that you might want to see. Speaking of Tim Ellis, while we're on the subject, take a look. There's your boy with that exact rocket. First stage. Relativity's Terran 1 rocket is poised on the pad at LC-16 for that full-duration static fire that Hagen was talking about in the NSF video. Do you think a rocket has ever hit a bird? Probably. I know that a rocket has hit a bat on the way up before. Yeah, there was no bat left. Hey, alright. We're about to have another launch pad ready to go. Guys, that cool thing about that Terran rocket, you see that thing? That whole thing was 3D printed. Not all in one piece. Not all in one piece. The whole thing was 3D printed in pieces. But like 90% of that rocket, everything but like the nuts and bolts were done on either a sintered aluminum printer or Relativity's proprietary 3D printing jigs, which is ridiculous. Because that freaking thing is 3D printed. That's nuts. But there it is on 16 with its strong back. It is vertical. And, well, the strong back is back down, which is pretty rad. And it looks like they got a hold down test simulator right there, which is pretty cool. Did they 3D print the 2D paint? It may have. So Tim Ellis says, first propellant loading and stage pneumatic proof successfully complete last night as we work to stage hot fire testing. Man, that's going to happen sooner rather than later. But seriously, though, check that out. Tim's a cool dude. I'd like to meet this guy one of these days. They didn't use the strong back to put it there. They used the crane in the last picture. Oh, really? Oh, okay. They used a bile crane. What do we got? Telescoping? Yeah, it's bile. That's a telescoping crane. I don't know if it's a telescoping crawler or a telescoping roller because we can't see the bottom of the crane. Hi, Tim. Tim's cool, dude. Tim's cool. I'd love to talk to that dude one of these days. It really seems like a really awesome dude. Anyway, let's just finish up dissecting the NSF video.
In this test, the teams will fuel the
And we'll
stage
keep going.
and fire all 9 Aeon 1 engines that will power this new rocket as if it were launching on an actual mission.
Did he post more
The
stuff?
rocket's first
He
test
did.
flight is still slated for
He did. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. It did use the crane. Oh, that's wild, man. That's wild. Dude, its pad looks... Huh. This pad reminds me of an Atlas hold down. Believe it or not. I might have a contact at Relativity if you want to ask for an interview with somebody. I'm not saying no, Chris. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. Why use a crane to build a rocket when you could put a rocket in a crane?
for later this
Yes.
year on the same vehicle currently standing on LC-16. Progress is also being made at the launch and landing facility.
This is what I wanted to see. This is at the shuttle, the SLF, the launch and landing facility, like what Hagen was just saying. But I noticed something here. I noticed something interesting about this road. That road caps in a cul-de-sac, but it's also a 3-lane wide road with a turning lane in the center. Why would you have a 3-lane wide road with a cul-de-sac with turning lanes when there's water? Any good contacts from Spaceport America? Oh yeah. Actually, you know who I ended up meeting, Bouncy? I ended up meeting some people that work on Dream Chaser. I'm talking about the guys that are putting this stupid thing together in the videos that we watch. If you're watching, hey guys, or guy, how you doing? So, might have a way in over there to go and check it. To go and check out Dream Chaser up close. I'd do it. That would be fun. It'd be a good time.
The launch and landing facility over at the
Simo, it was you?
where
Oh
the
yeah?
ponds are now filled and roads are being paved. Spaceport expects this expansion of KSC to be used for companies
Sure.
building more aerospace hardware to be launched perhaps
Yeah.
from the Cape or
Okay.
elsewhere. One of these companies includes Starlink Orbital, a small satellite manufacturing company.
Yep. See,
Not-
same thing as Roberts Road down the street from this. You got to get rid of all this gray, the dark sand. The dark sand is no good. And then underneath that dark sand, you have limestone chunks. You can see that gray right there. That's all the limestone stuff. You don't want to build on limestone. I have had many a geologist tell me why you don't want to do that. That is pretty much the equivalent of building a building on top of a sponge. Yeah. If water gets into it, your castle's gonna fall into the swamp, mate.
To be confused with the rocket.
They said you couldn't build a castle in a swamp, but I built it anyway. It fell into the swamp. With a fourth one, lad. Let's stayed up. Let's see what else we got.
And testing your knowledge of something new isn't unique to Capstone.
Brilliant. All right. So, that's the KSC flyover for NASA spaceflight. We do have more NSF videos on the back end of this because there is some, actually, there's a lot of stuff to go over. I missed a week of videos. For every situation, EJ has a movie quote. You're dang right I do, and the proof is in the pudding. The tapioca pudding. I take it y'all saw this. Nah, I don't care about that. Oh wait, yes I do. It's right here. Anyway, so this is coming. Before we get back into that, I have more testing over there. So the Australian Space Agency. Actually, that's not their full name from what I understand. It's the Australian Research Space Agency. Australian Research Space Exploration. It's ARSE, I think is the name. If I'm remembering right. Anyway, let's watch the video. Alright. The first of 3 NASA scientific rockets have successfully launched from the ELA Space Arnhem Space Center in the Northern Territory. It's Australia's first commercial launch and NASA's first from a commercial facility outside of the US. Yeah, alright, anyway, let's see. Let's see what this arse is up to here.
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah! 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah!
Yeah!
3,
Awesome!
2, 1, go! Yeah!
That's amazing! I can relate. That's awesome! God dang it, I love that country! Send it! Yeah, actually, it's better for Delta V that way. Can I just, one more time? 3, 2, 1, go!
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah! 3,
That's awesome. Nice tan. How was your trip to Cancun? No, not Mexico. New Mexico. Differences.
2, 1, go!
Go!
Yeah!
This is excellent. This is my new favorite thing. This launch commentator makes me happy. Yeah, pretty much, T-Man. Yeah! Oh, hang on. One more time.
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah! 3,
I am the cream. And just like that, the cream rises to the top. Nobody does it better. Dude, hang on. One more time, because it's funny.
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah!
Send it!
3, 2, 1,
Oh, yeah!
yeah!
Who is that guy? That guy needs a freaking medal. Oh my god, that's amazing. It actually sounds like me. Yeah, it kind of does, right? Hey, that's not anything that anybody isn't thinking every time they see a rocket go off. It's the freaking dude. It makes you. Yeah. No, you get fired up. Cause fire, boom, fire, fire. Anyway, is there anything in the thread here? Let's see. Let's take a look. So epic. Who's doing the countdown? Love the energy. This guy. Starting at 10:15 p.m. East Coast, Australia, tonight I'll be hosting the live stream of Australia's first commercial launch. Predominant, that isn't your cousin or something, right? Brad gets a follow. Brad gets a follow for that. Just for that commentary. Brad gets a follow. Yep. Oh, dude, that thing is a chunker. Look at that rocket. Damn, man. That is a gnarly rocket. 3, 2, 1, go! The next 2 launches from Arnhem Space Center on the 4th and the 12th. Cool. That's sick. Look at that thing. That's a helicopter. Can I just... Can we just...
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah! 3,
Yes!
2,
This guy is my hero! This guy's my freaking hero, man! That's awesome! I love it. That's not anything I don't think. Anytime I see one of these things go, man, dude, that's what's going on up here. I just gotten better at hiding it over the years.
2, 1, go! Yeah! 3,
Dude, I gotta download this. This needs to be a
2,
1, go! How do we download this? Can somebody get me that in a sound file and send it to me on Discord, please? Oh my god, yeah! That's what we need. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. New sub alert? Yeah! What was that launching? It was a commercial satellite payload for NASA launching out of Australia. That's up in the Northern Territory in Australia. So that's why he's so fired up, because I think it's the first thing Australia has launched into space in a pretty damn long time. Link? Sure. Here. One more time, just because it's awesome.
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah!
The guy's going Super Saiyan on freaking
3,
stream.
2, 1, go! Yeah!
I love it. That guy's my hero. Oh my goodness. New boat? Alright, I got it. I got the link. That was awesome. Dude. Every launch needs to have a yeah! What rocket was this? I'm not sure. It looked like a here, hang on. Let me see. Let me see if I can take a look. I gotta go back over here. It's hurting my voice doing that. I don't care. It's worth it though. It's a sounding rocket for sure. Those things got a little bit more chunk than they got a little bit more chunk than the ones we were watching at Spaceport America. Where is it? Where are you? Dutch guy. Yeah! You watched him, buddy? Yeah, those things got a little bit... It's got a little bit more kick in the pants, I should say. Where are you? I saw the thing in here, but I'm inept when it comes to Twitter. Brad? No. What was that dude's name? I just followed him a second ago, dang it. Forgot the dude's name. Probably be better to remember that, huh? Alright, hold on. Tucker. Yeah, there's my guy, right there. 2, 1, go! Yeah, that's, that looks like a, oh, what the heck? Which one is it? What up, dude? It looks like a Black Brent if I'm looking at that right, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one it is. We can figure it out. It's right here. So one of these bad mamma jammas right here. Let's see. Okay, the one with that hourglass adapter. So It's either a 9 or a 10. I think it's the 10. I think it's a Black Brent 10. That's a cool rocket. Guys, these rockets right here, these are sounding rockets, NASA sounding rockets. They're literally just missiles. They're just missile stages stacked on top of each other. Like I say that like that's some, oh, it's not a big deal. Yeah, no, it's like a Sidewinder missile. Just minus the Sidewinder parts. Just used as a rocket. Mm-hmm. I think it's a 10, if I'm looking at that right. Because it has a longer payload fairing up top. It was a 9. Okay, I was close. So it was a Brant 9 right there. So it's the one that says 36. So that's a sounding rocket, but still, it's a three-stage. It might be 2. I'm not sure. More like AIM 9, sure. I actually can look and see what they are, Farm, if we want to look. If we want to take a look. So, 9. Okay. It has a VB. So it's a Terrier Mark 70 booster first stage. Yeah. So, where are they? Was there ever a launch of that 60-meter one? Oh yeah, this thing, that's 60 feet, not 60 meters. Yeah, we've watched a 12 go. I'm trying to figure out what these stages are. I remember reading about it somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Maybe it's here. Black Brent originated in 57 with the Canadian government need for sounding rocket, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's go down here to 9. Well, that's 10, but whatever. Three-stage vehicle. It's a Terrier. Black Brent VB. Terrier Mark 12 Mod 0 rocket motor. I just gotta do some research here real quick. Yeah, it's a Terrier. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. You've toured their factory, Ian. That's cool. Look at the old school VLS. That's old school. Any squids? Look at that thing. It's ridiculous. So this thing, it could turn, right, and you could fire your missiles sideways, right? And then when they needed to reload, the thing would turn upright, and then these guys would open right here, and a new rocket would slide up on the racks, and then they'd turn and launch it again. And then they figured out, why the hell are we doing this? Just launch it vertical out of the rack and then turn the missile. Yeah, that was a dumb idea. But it needed to be done at the time. I don't think they got to full VLS. VLS is vertical launch system. Yeah, they figured out that it's just launch the stupid thing out of the tube. And that's what they still do to this day. That is on the Boston, though. Nice. Boston. Yeah, see, look at see ya. I think that ship is refrigerators, if I'm remembering right. Yep. It's my city. Cool. All right, so check this out. Next bit of news here. So this is coming from Collect Space. So Axiom Space, interesting thing. Axiom Space bought... So Axiom makes space station modules. They'll be making modules that they'll be attaching to the ISS. Axiom Space bought a Fry's Electronics that had a full-sized mock-up of the ISS inside. If anybody remembers Fry's, you know how crazy that actually is. Fry's was a quirky electronics store that folded in 2021 because COVID, which blows. But yeah, they bought the Fry's Electronics in Houston. Axiom bought the Fry's Electronics that has the full-sized ISS mock-up inside of it. Straight up. Isn't that cool? It has a full-sized ISS mock-up hanging from the ceiling, and they bought it. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but presence in Discord. Oh, tell me you got it.
1, go! Yeah!
Yeah! Not that I'm complaining, but why? That I don't know, man. Let's take a look. The build-out wasn't still, it still continues to be a one-of-a-kind on Earth. Neither NASA nor any international partners have a complete ISS. The nearby Johnson Space Center is training versions of each modules, but omits the truss and solar array wings. Construction is now underway to convert the 146,000 square foot, 13,600 square meter building to meet Axiom's needs, including adding a collaboration workspace, offices, and lab space. The building's high ceilings will support Axiom's plans for full-scale mock-ups and engineering units of its own space station. The ISS, though, will remain. Axiom worked with the building's ownership group to leave all of the space-related pieces that hang overhead and the other space features unique to that facility's design. That is some Chad tier stuff right there. Yeah, I know. That was Fry's. Each one was themed. Look at that. It's got a full-size ISS in it. That's really cool, man. Oh, they paid extra, all right. Yeah, that's cool. Dude, look at this Fry's. The outside even looks like a space station. Ah, that's a shame. For the people that don't know, Fry's in Ernog, you already said it, but Fry's was like... Fry's is like if you took a micro center and then you themed it, kind of. Like... If you're from Denver, think like Casa Bonita, but the food doesn't suck, but electronics instead of food. Fry's is cool, man. It's an adult Toys R Us. Yeah, damn right, Sears. But that's cool that they're saving it. Hang on, can I just... One more time?
Yeah!
Just... Hang on.
Yeah!
Yeah! That is such a good cheer, man. Hell yeah. Predominant, can we isolate the yeah? We gotta isolate the yeah, and that, we need to make that an alert. Hold on.
Yeah!
Yeah? You can?
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah!
That's the best, man. Brad's my hero. That's so good. Here, next bit of space news. SES-22 is preparing for launch. Stay tuned for more details on how you can watch the live stream. So that's tomorrow. And they showed it being encapsulated here. I can't do it. No, Bedhead. Yeah! I can't make that noise. 3, 2, 1, go! One more time.
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah!
Yeah, we got here. There's some pictures of them encapsulating the fairings, or the fairings encapsulating the payload. Sorry. Test tank crush imminent, dude. Oh. Shall we? Let's shall. Alright, so I'm switching here to live coverage from our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight, where hopefully we're going to see that thing on the left get crushed like a potato.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Any news on the next 2 Astra launches? Nah, nothing right now, Wookie. This launch is part of a $1 billion FCC incentive to program to clear the spectrum. Cool. Shall we? Let's shall. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, yep, there's definitely some tension there. So what they're doing here is they're testing the loads on this. So there is a tank inside, and that tank is pressurized, most likely with nitrogen. It's pressurized with liquid nitrogen. They use that as a good test for to simulate a cryogenic propellant, right? And then there's a clamp up at the top, and that clamp is attached on Kevlar ropes to hydraulics. And see these hydraulics? They're pulling down on that clamp to simulate flight loads on the vehicle. So this is the kind of compression force that you'd encounter when the vehicle is launching. When the vehicle goes up, you got rockets pushing from the bottom, and then you have the weight. Weight. Right when you're taking off, at least, it's more mass than anything. You have gravity pushing on mass that's causing a downward acceleration. So the rocket actually ends up crumpling. It ends up kind of crumpling just a little bit. And that's called a dynamic, well, I mean, it's a dynamic load. So you have a dynamic compression force here. That's what they're testing by pulling down on these things. Watch, these hydraulics will go down. And, oh, look. Look. Uh-oh. Oh, what's happening? They're crushing. They're putting load on it. Look, it's crumpling the ice off the side. Do not pop. Do not pop. I'm gonna pop. That's not paint, Jay. That's actually ice that's forming on the side because you have cryogenic liquid in there, so you have really, really cold liquid nitrogen. And that really, really cold liquid nitrogen is actually freezing moisture out of the atmosphere on the outside of the tank. Spoiler alert, if it's cold on the inside, the metal that's holding the cold stuff inside is going to be cold on the outside. And any moisture that in the atmosphere that comes near that tank is going to instantly freeze, which is why you see ice accumulating. Also, fun fact, the tank on the top of the crushing stand is made from an old booster header tank. Interesting. Isolated and added a fade out in DM. All right. That is the best yeah. It's so good for Omni. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh no! 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 Oh yeah! Oh. Best. Yeah, predominant. This is why I've been saying for the longest time. We need more Aussies in space. We need more Aussies in space because of this. All right. Oh, more ice coming off here. Remember, watch the hydraulics. We see the here. I'm gonna scrub back and forth real quick. Are the hydraulics moving at all? Nope. I don't see anything. Let me fast forward here. Prepare to fast forward. Preparing to fast forward. Fast forwarding, sir. Is there a reason why they test the tank after building the booster? It's probably a different design, Tomast. When is this? Now. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, come on. I can't tell if those hydraulics are pulling down or not, or whether it's heat distortion. When will then be now? What happened to then? When? Who? Oh, oh, more ice is coming off. Dude, I want to see this thing pop like a zit. That would be sick. I mean, I don't think that ideally, I don't think ideally they want to push this to failure, but it might. Who's on first? But what's on second? He's on first? You guys smell burnt toast? Yeah, Katra, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, you probably don't want to pop that thing. Now I want toast, dang it. No. I think this is the reason for the 24-hour delay. What's 24-hour delayed? I'm confused. Oh, yeah, W, I got you. Any thoughts on what the tank on top is powering? It's some kind of pneumatic. But other than that, I have no idea. Am I seeing wrinkles between the third and fourth sets of straps? I think that might just be heat distortion, though. I'm not sure. But why put it on the top? I don't know. Contra, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I have no idea what that thing is, and I have no idea why it's there. It looks like it's a pneumatic tank, but I have no freaking clue, dude. I don't know. Because it looks cool. Where's the endocrine-bobulator? Yes. Alright, well, fellas, I don't know if there's much action going on here, so what I think we should do is get through the rest of the space news. So, I'm going to do that, but I'll keep this up on the other monitor here. So, check this out. This is coming from Virgin Orbit here. We formally established a new Brazilian subsidiary and received an operator's license for launch operations from Alcantara. The local geography is one of the most advantageous places in the world to launch satellites. So it looks like Launcher 1 and Cosmic Girl, the 747 that launches Launcher 1 into space, that's literally its launch pad, is going to launch from Alcantara, which is a Brazilian launch site. Alcantara is literally on the equator. It's a really advantageous place to launch stuff from because the Earth's a non-uniform sphere. It bulges at the center. Because it bulges at the center, when you're closer to the equator, you're spinning faster. So you get a free velocity gain imparted on the vehicle in the form of about 500 meters a second. 500 meters a second is huge. That's a huge payload capacity increase, which is actually really cool. That's very advantageous for a small sat launcher, especially a small sat strato launcher, meaning they can move bigger payloads into space if they launch out of Alcantara, which is actually really cool. Okay, Bino, you guys update me if you see something over here, okay? Check this out. We're happy to report we'll have the National Reconnaissance Office on board a joint mission between the U.S. and the U.K. later this year in a historic flight out of a spaceport Cornwall. Nice. This will be the first ever orbital launch from British soil. Ah, yes, Blondie. So it looks like Virgin Orbit again is going to launch. Hang on. Is going to launch out of Cornwall here, which is actually pretty cool. Fairing our... That's really neat. So this is a 747 that carries a freaking missile launcher underneath it. Only it's not a missile, it's a rocket that flies up into space, which is actually really freaking cool. Here's hoping they launch Bojo in it. Oh, man. Come on, Foz. Why we gotta bring that up, dude? Why we gotta bring that up, man? Come on. It's because you don't like his hair, isn't it? I have no idea what I'm talking about, dude. I'm not even kidding. I never liked that you are risking lives for small sats, but the 747 is cool. Huh? What do you mean? How's the moving going? One Bojo here? I'm not doing that. Yeah, sorry, real late, but yeah, I got you. I mean, but Faj, you got to think about this two ways. If you do that, do you want him to be the first Briton in space, launched from British soil? I don't think you want that. I mean, unless you, you might. I don't know. I don't know enough about how you guys do things over there, to be honest. Yes, bring up Rule 8. Let's delay space news even further. Yeah. Yeah. You know, guys, sometimes people say stuff in chat and it just makes me not wanna, hit the off button. Oh, jeez, I don't even have to do anything. You freaking timed you out. Roasted LaFleur. Anyway, come back at 10. Yeah, he was just kidding, but also, Jim, thank you. So there's a picture of the Falcon 9 here. That guy should be set to jet tomorrow, which should be pretty cool. Cool. All right. So, let's check out on the next news. In related news, ULA CEO Tori Bruno tells Aviation Week Vulcan's first flight can be pushed until early 2023 if the customer, Astrobotic, needs more time to finish work on its Peregrine lunar lander. As a backup, ULA Launch is preparing a dummy payload for Vulcan Centaur 1. Interesting. Whoa. Hang on one second, dudes. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll fix that in a little bit. Okay, in related news, so interesting that this is kind of a big thing. Like, people are saying, like, oh, Vulcan is not going to launch this year. Vulcan could launch this year. You know, it's funny because Tori Bruno says Vulcan is going to launch this year, and then people in the news say, no, it's not. Yeah, that actually happened, you know. Yeah, Tori Bruno, the guy that runs ULA and oversees Vulcan, the Vulcan program, says he's going to launch this year. And then reporters in the news say, no, you're not going to launch this year. And he's like, yes, I am. And they're like, no, you're not. It's like, So all of the BE rockets ready for Vulcan in the first quarter 2023. Well, judging by what Irene Klotz is reporting, and Irene Klotz is pretty good. She usually gets stuff right. They should be ready to go. There should be a Vulcan ready to go by the end of this year. It's really dependent on payload at this point. In which case, ULA says they'll send one with a dummy payload just in case, which is actually that's cool. All right, anyway, let's see what else we got. What else is going on here? Okay, so this is another one from Irene Klotz here. Let's take a look-see-dooksy here. So, last launch of Atlas V is expected in late 2025, not the latter part of 2024, as mistakenly said during today's pre-launch presser of SF-12. Okay, cool. What's that, Phil? Yeah, see what I mean? See what I mean? When the CEO of the company says we're going to launch later this year, and then you write an article saying, no, you're not. I don't know. Yeah, Valk, I know you're back. I just stuck my neck out for you. Don't make me do that again. It's my boat. Yeah, so, yeah, it's funny that happens. Anyway, let's see. What else do we got? I think that's everything. Anything pop with the test tank yet?
I don't know if that comes down
to
Ian. They just don't want to yet, or maybe B7.1 is kind of taking up the test stand or all like the test equipment that would be needed for a test tank. So yeah, there are two test tanks at the site, B7.1 on your screen right now, and also the E-Dome test tank, which we've discussed on stream many times before. That is a test tank of 2 of the new flatter domes. Those domes have not been used on a vehicle so far. They stacked 2 of them to create a test tank, and that will be tested hopefully in the coming days or weeks.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is the first of the recent series of testings that we've seen them build.
Yeah, exactly, Tomas.
This is the first one to actually get tested, right?
What's that? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Dummy payload is blue, but it's not his car.
Parallel with a launch preparation campaign with Booster 7 and also Ship 24 probably before too long.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Oh, go ahead.
Keeping an eye on chat, also keeping an eye out for questions and things. Here's a super chat from Moldy Space Industries, # Thomas and Ian Fan Club. Appreciate that, Moldy Space.
Hey, Moldy Space.
Yeah. Also, someone was pointing out that there might have been a vent from the orbital launch mount visible on one of the right cameras. We'll keep an eye out for that. It sounded like they were suggesting it was kind of an intermittent thing, so see if we can see that. But yeah, for context, obviously the left-hand side.
Tim shared more pictures of the news van.
Tank. But then on the right, you can see the tank is to... Oh, I see, actually. Oh, it's to the base of the tower.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, man.
Okay, Ian, do you see that base of the tower?
Dude, that van came out so sick. Tim ended up not needing my help.
Yeah,
but, yeah, he found another way to do it, which is cool. It's all good.
Know what that is, and I say that having no clue myself, so I could be setting up Ian for failure right now.
Oh, that's so sick, dude. That's so cool. Look at that, man. You almost got a whole studio in there. It's a streaming setup inside of the van. That's awesome. That's so freaking cool, dude.
And chat's like, what's venting? I don't know. I don't keep up with every little valve that's in Starbase. So chat, but sometimes chat knows. So chat, if you know, you should know. But yes, the tower is also venting.
Hey, that looks like the tripod that I was using.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, new vent just dropped.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that view, to the right of
I bet that van would be so hot. Well, it's got a generator on it, Mob, with an air conditioner attached to the back. Because yes, it does get hot inside of those news vans. Yeah, but that's really freaking cool. Anyway, all right, let's do some tank watching here, guys. There is a ton of Boca Chica vids that we have to keep up with, but I might save that for another day when my voice doesn't suck. So let's listen to Thomas and Ian commentate for a little bit.
Where is we up to now? Like 500,000 or so?
The PTZ is remote controlled from inside of the van. That's cool.
But we'll offer some extra comms on here on Starbase Live, so we do that every once in a while. Okay, Chad, I promise the top right image is not frozen. If you look very closely at the venting on the tank, it is in fact moving. It's harder to tell because it's a wider shot, but I promise it is not frozen. And see, now Chad says we want rampant speculation. I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah, and also, might be good to mention.
What's that? What are you saying? On the Capstone stream, I saw a render thingy of the real-life Venus mission. It looks like it has a heat shield, but I thought it was just an orbital mission. It might skirt Venus's atmosphere, but no, I forget the exact profile of that mission. What is that thing? Metal? But that's not important right now. It's a test tank. So instead of building, Linus, instead of building one of these big frickin' things, right? Instead of building a big booster, they want to come up with a new tank design. You technically only need the top of the tank, a center section of the tank, and then the bottom of the tank, right? And then you just put adapters on the top and the bottom, which is what these ridged areas are. Every time SpaceX wants to prototype a new tank, they just make the top, the center, and the bottom, and they make it small. And then they put it in this thing. This thing has a cap up at the top, and that cap is attached on a bunch of Kevlar wound cables here. And those are attached to hydraulics that pull down on the cap up there. The cap is designed to induce a compression load on the tank. Basically crush it. It's not necessarily a hydraulic press, but it's close enough. Welcome to Hydraulic Press Channel. I am Elon. Hello. As today we're going to crush gigantic rocket fuel tank. Today it is very dangerous, so we must deal with it. Evepavi. Terve. Sorry. Suddenly finish. So they're testing a new tank design here, Linus, and they're gonna crush the thing. Yeah, or I don't think they're gonna crush it. I think they're just gonna induce a compression load on it. The goal, using an electron launch vehicle and photon spacecraft, is to send a probe to around 30 miles altitude, where Venus's atmospheric conditions are closer to those found on Earth. There you go. So it does have a heat shield. Do you know why the SR-71 rotated the whole vertical stabilizer instead of having a rudder? That's probably what was needed to prevent side slip at high speed, Lundprod, if I had to guess. So, if you look, they got Booster 7 over there. Booster 7 was put on the pad by the chopsticks. That's kind of what I want to show you guys. They were doing this while I was at Spaceport America. You know what? I actually want to show that footage, which is just, it's just wild. Here's the condensed video. This is from a couple of days ago. Take a look at this footage. Tiny Victory says hi. Hello. Voice is starting to really go, dudes. I tried to do. Hey, hello. I'm trying to keep it going as best as I can. I'm trying. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
This little booster with the grid fins and the chimes. Yeah, buddy. That's stainless steel. We got to move these first stages. We got to lift these giant boosters. Sorry. I just came back. Did I miss much? Yes. Hey, Neuro, 51-month resub. I thought SpaceX had visited Area 51 to figure out tank designs, or did they? Yeah, I know it's so far, right? Yeah, all right, here, they're closing the sticks in. All right, I'll catch the VOD. Yeah, we went over a lot of stuff, Alex. I covered a lot of ground pretty quick. My voice is fading very fast, man. All right. Here we go. This is the stuff I want to see. All right. So this was the other day, guys. This is the big stuff that I want to show. See, they got the drones moving around. Watch this. I actually, you know what? I haven't seen this footage yet. Bro, what the hell? Holy crap. Yeah, Kev, I saw them actually plug in right after they lifted. Which means that those things can only plug into the booster when the booster's hanging. Which is nuts. Guys, that thing weighs, it's like 250 metric tons. No, yeah, 250 metric tons. That's 250,000 kilograms. So that booster is, what, like 500,000 pounds? 500,000 pounds, give or take. That's an estimate, but still, though. What in the absolute frick? That's so cool. Dude. The QD. Watch. Will this thing pop open? Yeah, watch. Come on out to play. Booster. Come out to play. Sorry. I won't do that again. Yeah, Booger Bomb, I don't know, man. If the thing even gets off the pad, I'll be pretty damn impressed. Nice, yeah. All moving surfaces have better control authority than supersonic. In fact, most aircraft are uncontrollable supersonic without removing all horizontal stabilizers. Transonic aircraft have moving trim tails. Yep. Yeah, Neuro, that sounds right. Umbilical. Come out to play. So look at that, dude. The umbilical automatically connects itself, and then it has latching mechanisms that'll hold it into place. Look at that. It's gonna pilot itself right on there. What the frick? Did I miss something on the house? I'll say that at the end here. Yeah, let's go over here and take a look-see. That's crazy, man. Can you believe it's been 2 years since SN8 launch? 2 years? Okay. Almost. No, I can't. That's very weird. I really wish you didn't tell me that. Is that rust on the side of the spaceship? It looks like cork or something. Yeah, maybe. Cool. All right. Well, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that thing get lifted. Anyway, let's go back over here. Have they crushed anything with this yet?
Design before flight.
Booger Bomb, just wait till next month. Seriously.
Let's see here.
About 2 weeks. 2 to 3
um,
weeks. You should see this thing
asking,
go.
wasn't there supposed to be a launch tonight? Not that I'm aware of. There's a couple launches in the next couple days.
Oh, nice, Goldie. I showed him that picture already.
There was the Rocket Lab capstone launch this morning. Don't know if you were thinking of that.
What's this, Ilya? It's a test tank. Testing tank. There's a different tank design in here. See the little guy, the testing little tea kettle over here. That's the booster that they're gonna mess with. I wish we knew what the forces being exerted were at the moment. I mean, I could probably ballpark it. I mean, let's think that those bulkheads are probably booster. They're probably for the booster and for Starship. So what parts between all of those, right, if they go with that tank design for Starship and the booster in the future, what part is going to have the most amount of compression load being exerted on it? The booster. So they're probably... we're probably having forces exhibited somewhere on par to what the compression loads on the first stage would be. So you're carrying 120 tons of Starship up above you with probably another 100 tons of propellant, and then maybe 50 tons of payload or something on top of that, right? Just as an overestimation, right? Like, these are just ballpark numbers. So you probably... Up north, you got 300 tons, and then you have 33 Raptors down south, right, that are pushing up. So, I mean, that's 72 meganewtons of force being pushed up and 300 tons of force being pushed down. So that should give you a good ballpark where that tank is being squished at. Hey, Sirius, what's going on? I mean, once again, those were just made-up numbers. Like, not necessarily made-up numbers. Those were ballparked. I have no idea. I bet you it's under a pretty good amount of clamping load.
My question is, why such a huge range of projections compared to something like Rocket Lab's recent launch? Okay, so this is the difference between guessing a launch date and an actual targeted launch date. SpaceX has not set, or at least not externally set, an actual target date for the Starship orbital test flight. There's too many things that have to happen before that launch for them to publicly announce a date. Whereas the Rocket Lab launch this morning, for example, is a launch of an operational rocket that's been flying for a while, and there wasn't a static fire to be finished beforehand of a brand new vehicle design. There wasn't, extra GC testing to do. Like, it's flying an operational vehicle. So when they set a date, that's the actual launch target, rather than, well, we might be ready to try a launch by this date. That's the difference. That's why and that's kind of goes hand in hand with both Starship and SLS. When people are talking about launch dates for those things, right now both of those things are kind of guesses or estimates based on all the work that has to be done beforehand. SLS might be slightly more firm because now with the wet dress done, there's a pretty well-defined set of work that has to be done, whereas Starship and Super Heavy both have like static fires to do still. Which adds a little bit more schedule.
I'm just listening, guys. My voice is really done. We got nothing left. We're running on fumes,
William
Captain.
How many times will the boosters be reused before retirement? definitely a rampant speculation question, but we can certainly speculate. Thoughts?
100 flights.
Honestly, I could see it kind of being a repeat of how
Discovery,
Falcon 9
go and
was
throttle
with
up.
reuse, where they
Periodic
only reused the
53-month
booster one time
reset. The
before
return
flight.
of Raspy
And then
EJ.
as they learn, because again,
Guys, I'm telling you, I'm trying to sound normal. I'm really making a concerted effort to not sound like this, because my voice is pretty gone if I'm gonna try to speak normally, right? This is me speaking normally. I have to really try to keep my voice going correctly. That's really strange.
Talk about
It's very weird.
About beginning from scratch, sort of like that. I remember Elon on an interview with Tim Dodd. He was saying something like,
Tim Dodd.
we're just gonna be, we're not gonna be reusing this booster.
Yeah, I know,
especially at
Electron.
this
I'm not gonna push it
stage."
too much.
He was saying that they
Please
will
tell me
just
you have a
be
break plan.
long
I have
arguments
something
because
planned.
they are going to go through so many iterations that it's gonna be like, why should we keep them? It's like, just fly them.
Yeah,
And
COVID do be like that,
if they fail
MC.
the landing or they fail in flight,
Yeah,
with
that's,
the Starlink mission.
Yeah, fellas, I got COVID on the plane coming back. So, yeah, just recovering from that. That's good. So, yeah, I mean, that coupled with house closing stuff, I'm going to try to take it easy here. Yeah, Jay, I didn't want to say anything, but Primo came in and was like, you need to take what is it? Oh, what's the name of it? It's a respiratory steroid, I think is what it is. Oh no, stay healthy, man. Yeah, I know. We got to close on the house this week too. I did the walkthrough. We did the social distance walkthrough today. Where the guy, what we did was we showed up to the house, right? And I had my realtor there, and I had my realtor FaceTime me and then walk through the house. And Bree and I just stayed in the car. It worked. And that's what I'm going to do tomorrow when I go to my real estate lawyer's office. I'm just like, bro, we'll just sit in the parking garage. You sit in your car over there. I'll sit in my car. And then you just pass the papers. We'll have somebody just pass the papers back and forth. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Foz. I don't think he got it. Just give us a picture of the key in your hand. Yeah. Was the televisit satisfying at least? Yeah, it was good. 20 years from now, kids will really make fun of us. Kids already make fun of us, Zero. That already happens, man. Yeah, here. Actually, fellas, if you really want to see, I said I would talk about house stuff when we were winding down. You guys really want to see a picture? Here you go. It's on my phone, but come on, you freaking piece of junk. Come on. Here. There you go. There's a picture of the garage, dudes. You see the door in the back? That should tell you how big it is. Yep. I think I'm finally confident enough to show you guys a picture of the inside. It's big, man. It's a big garage. It's concrete floor. Yeah. So, once again, I'm trying to not go too crazy here. And we gotta close tomorrow. If I want to screw with chat, show them this. If I want to screw with chat, show them this. Okay. What, that? Huh. Nah, that won't screw with them too much. Will it, Goalie? I showed a picture of the garage drummer. I'll show it to you again here.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
0. There you go. It's a big space, man. Yeah, that's a picture of it, dudes. I'll show you more in, well, coming weeks.
Discovery, go at
We gotta
throttle up.
close on it tomorrow, though. But yeah, that's what's going on. The garage is the size of your house. Yeah.
A static fire, and then they cancel it and just load
Yeah,
the fuel, and people are like, "But
10
it's
pretty much.
marginal."
Yeah. we bought a I mean, the garage is 1,000 square feet. The house is 1,000 square feet. So, I mean, it's me. It's a me. Would you expect anything different? Yeah, drummer. We have a conditional. Well, it's not conditional. We have a contract with the sellers. They accepted our offer under the condition that we give them July. The month of July, they can stay there, and they're basically our tenant for nothing. So, if this does close, we'll be moving in about a month, give or take. But we could still go down there because it's technically our house if we get that closed tomorrow. I'm not gonna celebrate, guys, until I have that paper signed and it's notarized and out the door, and I get keys in my hand. Well, now you're a complete supervillain with a proper secret base. Yeah. Workshop. Louisville, workshop. My friend's parents built a small house with a 6-car garage. Yeah, it's something like that. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Workshop. We will work on things in there. I could fit a small lift in it. I think you're very, very much underestimating the size of the garage. Goalie, I'll show you. Take a look here. Nope, that's rocketlaunch.live. Here. Okay. See that? You see this thing in the back? That's a door. That's a person-sized door. Once again, I think you're underestimating how big that is. One lift? No, you could fit 2 side by side in there. Believe me, I've measured. Send me a picture on Discord. No. It's not a garage, it's a hangar. You get it. Stop old manning. Nope. How many brush trucks does it fit? You could fit probably 1 brush truck in there, Frilled. Okay, old man. Hey, where's your house, drummer? Oh, wait, you don't have one. Well, technically, neither do I right now. But I'll ask you this question again tomorrow, and you're going to feel pretty stupid. Yeah, they threw in a house, Enco. That's right. That's cold-blooded. Yep.
Of the parachute recovery system went into SLS's boosters, which doesn't have a mass constraint. So that's massive sort of like constraints that are being passed on from Ares down to SLS. But yeah, Omega, they'd thought about that more in-house because that system was far more powerful and it wasn't designed to be crew rated, so they had a lot more
Frill,
leeway
you like
in
it?
So technically Omega was a better rocket than Ares 1, but I have a bone to pick with Ares 1X. That's my problem. Not Ares itself. Ares was pretty good, but Ares 1X was just a silly rocket. It really was.
Chris!
Well,
A dummy up
Chris! Silly rockets
a
before you
dummy
get
up
to
a
the
stage.
good rocket.
Come on,
Chris!
I mean, that's like the ultimate ball of cheese mass simulator, isn't it? Let's just make the whole thing a mass simulator. So yeah, I'm a bit cruel about Ares, but Ares 1 itself was pretty good. It was rushed to be a shot replacement. It didn't work out, and it was basically a test pathfinder towards the Ares V, because I think Ares 5 would eventually been crew rated, and that is what SLS has become. So
Which
it
is
made
basically
sense.
SLS, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, SLS is just Ares 4, pretty much, right? That proposal.
I mean, yeah, there was a couple different ways they could have gotten there, but yeah. Really quick, we should keep an eye on this test tank, obviously, as the focus here. There was some ice kind of falling off a little bit ago. Sometimes that's an indication of pressure changing.
Actually, drummer, Virgin Orbit signed a deal with the US DoD and the UK MOD to launch Cosmic Girl and Launcher 1 out of Cornwall, dude. That was Space News right before you popped in.
The questions here. Do you think they will do a pre-burner test before the static
Yeah.
fire? Also, do they need
True
an
story.
overpressure
Here,
notice
let me
for
see
a
if I can
pre-burn?
bring the tab back up.
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it? My first thought is pre-burner doesn't require an overpressure notice. I'm kind of questioning myself there a little bit.
I think you're right, but I also have no idea.
No, it does. It does.
Oh, it does.
The
All right, thank you,
right.
Alex, for...
The overpressure
Here's Tara.
notices usually are because you're having an ignition source.
We're going back through Space News
So,
here.
There's usually a little bit of confusion of what entails,
This
like
video
what
is
are the
sponsored by
reasons
Brilliant.
as to
No.
why they need to send out the
I'm not sure
notices,
where it
and,
is. It's in there somewhere.
You know, when they are doing a wet dress rehearsal, for example, they're just basically moving methane from one side of the from like the tank farm to the vehicle.
Yeah, Thomas, you got
It's
it.
not
Here.
really that huge of a big deal to need the notice, but if you're gonna put an ignition source such as pre-burner test, static fire of sorts, you know, as soon as you put that into the equation,
Just
that's
getting
when
rid
you
of
need
all the other tabs. I'm sure there's a faster way to do this.
So
And
obviously,
don't
you know,
get me wrong, Chad. By the time you're probably typing out a better way to do it, and by the time it's
Yeah.
done, you're going to be done typing, and
The
it's not
second
going
part
to
of
be
the
needed.
question was, do we expect a
Just
pre-burner
thought I'd let you
static
know.
fire? I do, yeah. I would expect
Yeah.
that to be the next path.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to expect next. So yes.
Yeah, see?
So we're looking for a letter to Mary, as a.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of stuff
clue to
there.
when the
Check
pre-burner
that
test
out.
will be. So that's the next thing to look out for.
All right, next question here. James Hershey asks, at NASA Spaceflight, pancakes or waffles? Listen, this is a rapid side.
I don't want to close all my tabs.
Pancakes. Thank you.
All right, we got
Well-
Chris, pancakes. Alex, what was your vote?
my vote is both.
But all right, that's fair. That's fair. Ian.
I like both. I like pancakes because you can eat them with your hands, but waffles are also nice because they're more fancy.
Okay.
Who the hell eats pancakes with their hands? Ian.
Oh,
But
Torrijas.
anyway.
Try torrijas whenever you are in Spain. I'm just gonna say
Ooh.
that.
All right, we'll do.
I'm gonna actually type it on.
Wait a minute. Pancakes. Stop. Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me. You dip the pancake into a container of syrup? Torrijas? La comida de España? Sí o no, Snatcher? Yeah, there you go, drummer. Eat the pancakes as a bread. Like French toast? Okay. But you eat pancakes like that on your deck. Use a hot cake like a hot dog bun and eat like sausage dipped in maple syrup. Okay, I suppose that's fair. Guys, I don't know about you. When I have pancakes, so they put the butter on the top of the damn stack of pancakes, right? I always cut the butter up into pieces and then put it in between each pancake. And then I take strawberry jam, grape jam, maple syrup, cinnamon, and just make a cocktail of syrupy, drizzly awesomeness. And then you can't eat it with your hands. You get sticky. Can't do that. No puedo. Yeah, I know, Booger Bomb. I never said it was good for you. Yeah, I just kind of drizzle back and forth with strawberry, drizzle back and forth with grape, drizzle diagonally with maple, and yeah, cinnamon on top of that, and yeah, it's a nice pancake cake. America, you're damn right. All right, good night, drummer. Want to know something neat? I want pancakes for dinner. you get to see both the Falcon 9 and an Atlas on the pad tomorrow. SF-12 and SES-22. Pretty cool. Well, that's pretty neat. Guys, I got nothing left. I got nothing. I'm trying, but yeah, there's nothing left. You had me at pancakes, man. So, NASA space flight is going to finish up with the tank testing footage here, and that's going to do it for me. Once again, I did a little bit of a shorter stream today because we had to do the house walkthrough, so I was a little late coming back to the stream, and we have closing tomorrow, so I got to go and make sure that all the paperwork is good to go a little bit later tonight so I can get up early tomorrow. So if we get the closing done before noontime, I'll be here at the regular start time. But we do have rocket launches tomorrow. We have SES-22 at 5 o'clock, and I think that's it. That's the only rocket launch. Then we have so there's 3 launches on the books for the 30th. Launcher 1 launching straight up, so that's off of Cosmic Girl. Then there's BSLV from the Indian Space Research Organization. And then we have SF-12, Space Force 12 on an Atlas V at 6. So we got 4 launches. 4 launches in the next 48, which is actually pretty cool. I'll try to get you as most of those as I can. Well, closing on the house. So closing party stream tomorrow. Yeah, probably. Hey, Wisp. Go. Feel better. Glad you're back. Yeah, me too. So, yeah, guys, if you're wondering why I'm raspy, I caught COVID on the plane ride back from New Mexico. Either that or something at the end of Spaceport America Cup. I'm pretty sure it was on the plane, though, judging by, like, how I got sick and when I got sick. But, yeah, just getting over it. My voice was fine at the beginning of the stream, but now it very, very quickly falls off. Like, this is me talking normally. Like, this is no adjustment here. I have to talk like this to try and fix it, right? Now I can sound normal, but I can only do this for a second before it starts to hurt again. So I'm going to stop before I damage something, guys. So let's see who we can raid in the meantime. If you want to keep watching the test tank footage that's over there on NSF, their YouTube channel, let's see if we can drop a raid somewhere. Talking does that to you. Yep. Your voice is telling you to go rest up. A dumb second use of a booster for SES-22. Ah. Yeah, Thomas has got the test there. I hope you feel better. I'll be fine, guys. I feel fine. My voice is just gone. I'm okay. COVID didn't hit your boy up that hard. It did knock me out for a day, though. On Sunday night into Monday, I was just like, I don't know what planet I'm on. But it's okay. Brima and I used the opportunity to binge watch a bunch of stuff, and I'm caught up on, let's see, what am I caught up on? I'm caught up on Kenobi, no spoilers. I'm caught up on Stranger Things, also no spoilers. I'm caught up on The Boys. Ew. I watched Beavis and Butthead. Awesome. What else did we get caught up on? There's a bunch of stuff. I think I'm caught up on everything now, which is good. Anyway, let's go raid Jimorian. Jim's doing some long road in Minecraft, from what I can tell. Actually, no, he's on Rocket's community server. All right, so, it's gross. Thoughts on Kenobi? Without spoiling anything, Yarg? I thought it was all right. It's okay. Yeah, I didn't mind it. How about you? I just want to say I have you at 25% volume on Twitch and like 90% of the time I'm watching. Are you trying to tell me that I'm loud, Druid? Anyway, go see what Jim's up to, guys, and I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. Once again, might be a little bit delayed because house closing. It might take longer, it might not, I don't know. So I'll set the start time for 2 p.m. and maybe we'll play some Satisfactory and chill and have a nice closing celebratory stream. If we do get the close done tomorrow, yeah, I'll bust open the spacecraft. If you're wondering what that is, I have a can of spacecraft in my fridge. Now, what the hell is spacecraft? Well, this is spacecraft. Take a look. Spacecraft is beer that was brewed by Sam Adams with hops that were flown on Inspiration 4. I'm taking my space beer out, and we will drink space beer tomorrow if we close. Yeah, Eric, I don't know. I don't want to get it too much into spoilers, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's the best cure for a bad throat. Hopefully my voice comes back by tomorrow. Anyway, so hopefully we'll bust that out. Go see what Jamorian's up to, guys, or go watch NSF. But for now, I'm going to go.